Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 327. So, some fun stuff to talk about tonight. And we even have OJ showing up, representing over there after the pre-stream.
Yes,
things were going a little off the wall there.
Yeah, Xbox Hidden Village. I'm supporting the Xbox Hidden Village tonight. So I'll be defending their honor and going in. Xbox wins, baby.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that with the FTC battle that Xbox definitely won. And let me go over here. We have Josie. Josie's with us tonight.
Happy to be here. Excited to talk about Xbox, I'm assuming.
You sound so excited, Josie. Damn.
I'm super sorry. I had an 8-hour drive. I'm tired. It was good.
We got Xbox in their battle against the FTC coming to an end. We got some rumors around remakes. One for the PS5 that is caused a bit of an uproar, and the other one I'm actually kind of excited for. The other one, which we'll bring up. Exoprimal came out. Some of us played it. We'll discuss our thoughts on it. And we did have a pretty good showcase this week that had announcements for Toomba and Gex, which I was not expecting to be talking about on this podcast, but here we are. So a lot to get to there. We also have Jordan Fringe.
Yeah, glad to be here.
There he is.
I'm here.
You kind of see him. Dark room.
Here. Am I too dark?
Hiding in the shadows.
You're fine. You're fine.
All right, I'll
no such thing, Jordan. No
I
such
check my monitor.
Right? There it is. Good to see Jordan here after his 12-hour video, just stretching the limit of YouTube.
Yeah, I made a 13-hour video, so it exceeded the length, so I had to cut a bunch of stuff out. So that's why it's exactly 12 hours.
12-hour video, and you have to cut stuff out.
It was 15 hours for me, Jordan. I don't care what anybody says. It was 15 hours of my life, okay? So
you're saying there's a Snyder cut out somewhere out there.
There was 15, between me pausing, getting food, not understanding what's going on, texting a friend, like, what the hell is this? It was 15 hours total between everything. Watch it.
I mean, it sounds like a good time to me.
I think it was. I watched the whole thing. I'm pretty sure. I don't
All right,
know.
now recap everything for me. To see if you understood. It's on the test.
There's a quiz at the end. Yeah. we have Max, Dreamcast guy, is here calling in remotely from unknown locations.
At a friend's house that has a lot of Nicolas Cage stuff everywhere. But how's it going? It's ready to talk Last of Us, apparently.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. We have Sean, RGT is here, the Emulation King.
Hello.
Good to see Sean here, finding all kinds of things off of Amazon and AliExpress to review.
Tomorrow we're looking at PlayStation 4 emulation on PC. That's what I'm putting tags for now.
Interesting. Okay. And we have Evan. Yep. Evan's tabletop channel recently hit 2,000 subscribers.
Hooray. Let's go.
Exciting stuff. Very cool. Make sure people check that out, especially if you're just curious even about tabletop or painting or any of that. There's a lot of stuff going on over there. So thank you. We also have a sponsor tonight is Factor. We'll talk about them a little later on in the show. And we also have the Spawncast Network, of course. Make sure you check that out. There's a link down below in the description for that. A lot of stuff coming up here this week, actually, for it. Let's start with a Discord question, though. Evan, if you want to hit us with that.
Let's see. I'm an old school WWF Attitude Era fan that hasn't really touched a wrestling game since SmackDown. Would I enjoy WWE 2K23 if I'm looking for some nostalgia?
Oh, if it's like real old, you might want to go to AEW if you're like thinking of N64 days, because the AEW game is closer to that. The 2K23 is a bit more simulation than it was back. Like back in the day, it was kind of stupid at times.
It's kind of
arcadey.
Like, and it's weird because you would think I would like it, but I don't know. That never really clicks with me anymore.
The 2K series?
Yeah, they're always changing up the control scheme and stuff.
They do.
You know, it's good in some aspects, but in other aspects, I don't know.
It's gotten a lot better. I mean, 2K20 was the low point for
the thing is,
franchise.
You can get 2K23 for a lot cheaper than you can get AEW right now. So if you see it on sale for like $20, I mean, not a bad investment.
No, I like 2K23 for what it was. And like I said, they improved over the year before, and I'm expecting them to get even better in 2K24. So I think they're on the right path. Just avoid 2K8, just avoid 18 on the Switch and 2K20 in general.
Yeah,
you should be good otherwise. Yeah. Or I mean, if you'd want to, just go back to the old days. Get technically a 360 or something. You can play some of those.
Or just emulate N64 wrestling games.
I agree. Yeah.
I say emulate the PS2 games, but Sean likes the N64 stuff.
Well, Attitude. Well, yeah, he did say PlayStation.
Hey, you could once you do SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, it starts with the draft. That was like right in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You have another Discord question, Evan?
How wild do you think Evo is going to be this year with over 7,000 entrants for Street Fighter 6?
Oh, I assume Street Fighter 6 is gonna make that like crazy.
It's going to be incredible. I cannot wait for Street Fighter 6 Evo. This is going to be the wildest tournament maybe of all time, man. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to cover it and watch. Street Fighter is great. It's such a great game to watch, like in terms of competitive esports stuff, man.
What are the games? Do we know the games that are there this year?
Yeah, they already announced the games. Okay. It's going to be what's the
one is Marvel vs. Capcom is one of, right?
I mean, that's a big one too. If that's that, like the good fighting games that you can watch are literally the ones that look great. Like Guilty Gear Strive is a game that looks incredible in motion, especially when people who actually know what they're doing are playing it.
It's funny the amount of Evo drama already. Like all the major players are already talking smack and like going back and forth. I keep seeing that. I love that.
There's a lot of money on the line for Street Fighter this year. Like there's $1 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
It is a lot of money. So Street Fighter, King of Fighters 15, Melty Blood, Guilty Gear Strive, Mortal Kombat 11, Ultimate, Dragon Ball Fighters, Tekken 7, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. That sounds like a pretty good show then.
Solid lineup.
Okay. Yeah, Street Fighter is definitely gonna go crazy.
It's gonna probably break a record. It's probably gonna break the record for like most watched Evo all time.
You have another Discord question, Evan?
As someone who grew up in a Nintendo household, can someone explain the difference between the Genesis, Master System, and Mega Drive?
That sounds like a Sean question.
The Genesis and the Mega Drive are the same thing. The Mega Drive was just the European name. There was a licensing issue where Sega couldn't use the damn Jono. Sega couldn't use the name Mega Drive in the States, so they called it the Genesis. I personally prefer the Genesis. Think of the Master System as the NES and the Genesis / Mega Drive as the Super Nintendo as far as compatibility is concerned. But the Master System was way stronger, but Nintendo had a stronghold on third-party games, and you can only make third-party games in North America, or release them, I should say, on their platform or no platform. And since the NES had such an advantage in terms of install base at the time, the Master System never had a real chance. But if you look at like European markets, like there's some crazy stuff that came out for the Master System that's just like super dope.
Real quick, Sean, was it never? I thought it was 2 years. I thought it was a 2-year contract.
I mean, it was, but it got to the point of where nobody wanted to mess with it because you're either choosing Nintendo or you're choosing Master System, and the NES was more popular. And so people are like, well, why are we going to risk this whole thing? And then of course Nintendo had all those weird things where you could only release X amount of games. So then you had subsidiary companies come out like Ultra Games, which was just Konami under a different brand. But yeah, I could talk about that forever, but I'm not going to.
There's a book called Console Wars that talks about all that, and a lot of them, they're interviewed. A lot of the Sega executives are in that book like crazy, talking about all the weird stuff they had to do. It was really fun.
I do want to shout out. You mentioned Sean. John O dropped the big super chat saying, "Great meeting you guys, Max and John. Sorry I missed you, Jordan. TMG was great and the people watching was phenomenal. Great first convention to attend. Maybe one day the Ballon guy will get those copies signed. Have a wonderful evening, y'all. Hashtag your typical Spawncast viewer." So big shout out to John. Oh, it was awesome meeting John in person there.
Where was that?
Huge.
You may have been. I don't think it was during your. I think you were just walking around. we honestly ran into him when we were just walking around.
I think it was right after we were hanging out with you, Jordan. We stepped away and we just bumped into John O. And he's a huge buff dude. So it's like, oh, hello. He was like, hey guys. I was like, oh, hello there, average viewer.
He said he was checking out Philadelphia too for the first time. So hopefully, John, you had a good trip there. And you know what? He's put you on the spot, Sean. He said maybe one day the Ballon guy will get those copies signed. Sean,
I said I'd be there next year.
He is coming out next year.
You say that every year.
We'll be there.
No, I never say. I never confirm. I never speak in
yes,
absolute.
You do.
All right, they confirm right now. Say 100%. I solemnly swear.
I did it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but say it now.
Scout's honor. Are you a Boy Scout, Sean? God damn it.
No.
John has got you on the spot. John, we're going to get him out there. He's got to sign all the Ballon Wonder. That dude's been bringing Ballon there every single year for you, Sean. And you're going to
swear it on
make
Grandma's
their day
pizza.
next.
I'll swear it on Grandma's pizza. I'll be there.
Okay. There was an entire speech at the panel. The first one was very sad that you were not there. I recorded it.
But see, that's a problem because I technically like disappointing people, like in real life. So, don't do that.
Sean will be there. Sean will be there next year. Shout out to Jono though. It was good meeting you at the convention. Let's talk about this FTC Xbox stuff because the decision is actually multiple decisions at this point. So what ended up happening was we had those hearings for like a week, then like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks passed, and we got the decision sent down from the judge. They denied the FTC's injunction that they were seeking so that they could extend this out to, I think, August or so, where they were going to have a court case again, but with more findings and information. The judge was not convinced that they even needed to do that, so that got denied. The FTC then turned around, appealed, seeking a longer temporary restraining order. That got denied. So it looks like at this point, Microsoft has won their battle over the FTC, and there's speculation they may try to close this week as soon as Monday, but the CMA is still kind of iffy right now, and there's word that they may try to sell off rights for streaming, like cloud stuff, in the UK, and that would appease the CMA, which by the time our business hours open, technically for Microsoft on the West Coast, 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. Eastern, it'll be like 2 or 3 in that. Someone's mentioned this on the line, 2 or 3 in the afternoon in the UK. They may have already resolved it. They may be like, hey, we're going to sign this agreement so that we will spin this off. Go ahead, check these boxes. We're good to go. We're going to close. And if that happens, then by next week, we could be hearing news, the whole press release, welcome to the family, the whole thing. Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard after a 1.5-year process.
Can I just say this? I'm so glad this is like coming to an end.
Oh yeah.
And shout outs to Slim Grim. I gotta make sure I say shout outs to Slim Grim. He said, hey, give me a shout out on the Spawncast. There you go. Shout outs to everybody there. But I'm so happy that this is done. Like, thank God, finally, it's over.
Can't wait for the next one.
Is it though?
Well,
Is it though?
Yes,
so yeah,
this is over.
Well, this is, but I made a lot of videos talking about this thing, and sometimes I thought the deal would close, sometimes I thought the deal would deny it. I'm still shocked that it's actually done after 18 months, cat in my mouth. But I think that this is the beginning of the age of acquisition. I think that this deal is done, and I think we're about to see everybody buying up everything. Like if a $70 billion deal gets greenlit, I think everyone is going to start trying to buy everything under $10 billion.
It'll be a good soundboard sound right there. I'm gonna love it.
I would only be concerned about a really big player like an Apple or an Amazon or somebody getting involved, because Sony is somewhat limited. Like they're not going to buy a Take-Two, they're not going to buy Activision Blizzard, something like that. They could. People have speculated on them taking a swing at Square Enix. I still have no idea why they would necessarily, because they already get everything they want from Square Enix, and they don't have to deal with the development and managing developers and studios and all the other stuff outside of Final Fantasy. So I feel like if Sony did something, it would be more strategic, like what Savage Game Studios, they've turned into PlayStation Mobile, something like that. I don't know if they need the big publisher. Yeah. Bungie was big, but that actually makes sense for them with live service.
I see them doubling down like on their first party development and what they're doing. Like they've got resources for that. People have talked with them revenge buying stuff, but to me that like it doesn't really make sense. I just see them doubling down. Like they still have incredible brand loyalty and people that will just buy PlayStation. It doesn't matter if Microsoft has all that. Like there are still going to be people that they know PlayStation with gaming, with like the balance between great first party, obviously awesome third party, and powerful system, right? Like that balance that nobody else has in the third, like the main console manufacturers. So I see Sony just staying the course and making their games and doing. I do want
to point something out though. Steven Totillo mentioned this on Twitter that in 2022, the most downloaded PS5 game in the US was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The most downloaded game on the PS4 was also Modern Warfare 2. And the third most downloaded PS4 game was Minecraft. Of course, there is no PS5 version of Minecraft. So the first and third slot would then technically be taken up by Microsoft, making them one of the best third-party publishers for Sony.
That's why Sony opposed the deal so much, because they're like, man, can't Call of Duty, that's our cash cow. That's what makes us all the money.
Also, if you take the revenue for Activision and Microsoft, combine them, it's basically even from like in 2022 with Sony. So they immediately, in terms of gross revenue, become just about equals.
Well, I think that's the most interesting thing to me is I think like specifically just talking about the Microsoft ecosystem is how much like so many people are making these like a lot of Xbox fanboys are doing these interesting infographics that show all the games that are currently on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox 360, whatever the heck, backwards compatibility, all the games that are probably about to get added to Game Pass, and it's huge. Like Crash Team Racing and Spyro Reignited and old Call of Duties. And I do think they are just going to straight up, I mean, as soon as they legally can, as soon as this deal is done, I think they're going to do like a huge Xbox Direct where they just say, hey, here's what Game Pass is now. And I'm kind of curious to see that, to be honest.
Activision does have a lot of stuff, and a lot of it is already on the Xbox. So yeah, they could. I mean, there's probably back end work that has to be done. I don't think it's just like click a few buttons and it's there. But I think a lot of games will just start pouring into Game Pass. They did it with
Tony Hawk
stuff, if I remember right, where they just said, here's like 20 or 30 games that are just it's in Game Pass now. And if you look at Activision, they have some stuff that kind of goes into like backwards compatibility realm. I just wonder if they fire up backwards compatibility team at least for some of the stuff in the Activision library, because they mentioned they moved on, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just opens up. They could go out and make deals maybe with Hasbro, and there's another company that owns it, but for like the Transformers game, like War for Cybertron, like bring that up. That'd be really cool. I mean, they might even talk to Marvel and say, hey, what's it take to get some of these Spider-Man games backwards compatible? Let's get Spider-Man on the Xbox.
You actually bring up a great point I didn't consider, because remember when the Bethesda deal was done, I remember a lot of people talking about, they're like, we have Morrowind on Xbox now, it's part of Game Pass, and it's 4K 100 FPS. And I was playing Morrowind a couple days ago. That game looks really good on the Series X, and it's just in Game Pass. If they did that with some old Activision stuff, I'd be curious to see that.
What do you want, Sean? What do you want from Activision? What do you want on the Xbox Game Pass?
Whatever. I'm not picky. Yeah,
Start throwing prototype in there
if they want to. Like, you know, I could play all these games on whatever. So
okay, I see. He's fancy emulation king over there.
But I mean, no, on a serious note, I mean, it'll just be interesting to see. You know, I know you guys mentioned Tony Hawk stuff. I don't think it's as easy as just putting the vanilla game on there because of soundtrack issues.
Likenesses too,
right? Yeah. So you know, there's a lot of stuff tied with that. You know, the old Spider-Man games, I mean, that'd be cool, but you know, have they held up all that well over time? I
feel like Web of Shadows is still all right. I think that I have to go back and look at Web of Shadows, but you might be right somewhat. Web of Shadows, I think, could be kind of cool. Or I don't know. What was last time you played Spider-Man 2?
Not too long ago, actually.
Okay. How was that?
I like to boot it up on GameCube. I mean, with nostalgia glasses, it's good, but you know, without them, it's not that great.
That's how I feel about Web of Shadows. I played Web of Shadows recently, and I don't think it aged that well.
I haven't played it in a little
while. But I mean, you know, if you're just putting them on a service, like, you know, that makes it a bit different. So it's not like you're seeking the game out and spending a bunch of money on it. It's just something that you
Shattered Dimensions. That was supposed to be a good one. I don't think I ever played that one.
Is it Shattered Dimensions? I'm sure somebody in chat can correct me, but I remember one of those old Xbox 360 Spider-Man games is super expensive, and I think it might be Shattered Dimensions.
See, I wouldn't mind go back and playing that then, if that's the case. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously Game Pass will get Call of Duty basically every year at that point. I think after 2020... I think through 2024 it's still contracted to Sony, but after that they'll just start dumping that into there. Spyro will come back, Jordan. You'll get Spyro in Game Pass.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just hit this button.
Spyro! Thank you.
Game Pass price is going up every year for the next 10 years.
I do. I made a video talking about it because they just raised the price of Game Pass, and people got mad that I even mentioned it. But I do think the price, I think every 2 years, they're going to do like Netflix. Every 2 years is going to go up $1.
You can't offer all this shit and keep it the same price. There's no way.
Diablo 4, that goes in there?
It's not a bad thing. When people say, oh, they're going to raise the price, that just means, oh, they're raising the price because the value has substantially increased, right? So it's because it's getting way better, but you can't offer all that and then not increase the price at all, like zero price increases. Like, there's no way. And if they do, shout outs to them, more power to them. I'm fighting for the Xbox Hidden Village tonight, so I want that to happen. But I just don't see how. I don't see how that they have all this crap, Spyro and Crash, and all this stuff goes to Game Pass. Oh yeah, no price increases. Oh, you get Diablo, the next Call of Duty, all this stuff,
Right.
Same price. That just seems wild to me. But if they can get it done, like I said, cool.
Oh, True Crime Streets of LA. Can get that.
Oh
back,
my,
too.
that's
Soundtrack.
I played True Crime Streets of LA for 36 hours straight the day it came out. I was like hallucinating while driving down the road.
That game's actually 720p on the original Xbox.
I played on the original Xbox. It's good
Yeah.
for like a GTA clone type of 2000
With the car stunts where you press a button combo to like swerve your car around. I love that.
Yeah, it's a really weird game. I don't know how well it's aged. I haven't played it recently, but
Well, we're going to see how this shakes out, the whole deal this week coming up, to see if they close or not. But when they do, and we get a better, I guess, view of their closing statement, their introduction of Activision Blizzard, we'll probably get a better idea as to what their plans might be. And I'm sure there'll be some interviews and other things coming out, potential targets for what series to bring back. Hexen was one that Phil keeps talking about. Guitar Hero was mentioned at one point. So I think it'll be interesting.
You think Sony's going to release a statement? I feel like sometimes Sony says like, we're disappointed in this. I'm kind of curious if people have said that Sony might be silent. Maybe they're going to announce the state of play. Have y'all seen, there's like talk on the PlayStation side of Twitter that Sony's been really silent this last 18 months, which if you look at their track record, they've been actually really quiet. It feels like they've been waiting to see how this shakes out. So I'm kind of curious.
They should say nothing. They're going to sound like sore losers.
But let's say they are. People are making photoshops of Jim Ryan crying, and I bet he is. That man definitely punched a wall.
He definitely punched the wall, and then got his butler or maid to fix it as soon as he got done punching it. So,
I think there will be another showcase of some kind from Sony in the next 3 months. Yes, I think that will happen. So. But I don't know if they have anything. I don't know if they're gonna have anything really big left for this year. I think Spider-Man's the big thing.
Jim Ryan broke a scouter. He said it's over 9,000.
Joe, you play Guitar Hero if that comes back?
Oh yeah, I love.
I saw you react to that. Like you're really interested.
I forgot that Activision owns that, and they've been gone for a long time. So maybe then if they put it on the Switch with the Joy-Con where you could press it in the guitar again, like you did on the Wii, I would be so excited.
Hey, the Wii got Just Dance forever. It got Just Dance up until 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was 2021 was the last release.
Hey, we could have Guitar Hero on the Switch in 2028.
Just Dance is the worst franchise ever made. I don't care what
it is. Yeah,
the worst damn copywriting bullshit.
Oh, for copywriting.
Yeah. No, I don't know. This franchise sucks. The motion controls don't work. That franchise sucks.
Sounds like someone can't dance.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I can dance plenty good, and that franchise sucks. Go on my stream, Player Essence, on my YouTube channel. I
You're
dance
gonna
all
dance?
the time.
Do you have dancing videos?
Yeah, of course.
The Buck Bumble dance. Yeah, I see Sekiro. That's brought up. That'd be a good one to go into Game Pass right away.
Oh,
but really, no. Just Dance sucks. I just want to say that. Continue on.
That'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. I'm just curious how long it takes until games just start blowing up into Game Pass, and I think they're gonna get that done pretty quick. So
if they give us Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remastered, I'm going Xbox YouTuber. I'm an Xbox simp now.
That would be cool. I feel like they might do that. I mean, I know they took Vicarious and basically put them into Blizzard as a branch, but I mean, Diablo 4 is out now. I think their job was to go help get Diablo 4 to the finish line and release Diablo 2. That's kind of done now. So I almost wonder if they walk in and they go, well, we can try Tony Hawk too. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, best-selling one in the franchise. Just saying.
Really? That's impressive, but very shocking to me.
Just a best-selling one in the franchise. So might be worth taking a shot at 3, or maybe Underground. I liked Underground.
I never played Underground.
Oh, it was pretty cool. There's a bit more of a story to it, and starting out at the bottom and working your way up to being a pro skater. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
It was cool, especially in that time period, the Jackass era. It was really
the second
cool.
one. They really leaned into that.
They really leaned into the second one, but the first one was kind of little. It was still kind of a hybrid. Yeah. You know, it was more balanced.
That was the first game where you could get off your skateboard and just walk around, right, or something. Yeah, that's. I'm petty. That's why I didn't play
in the Tony Pro Skater 2. Underground 2. I remember you'd run around and do some weird stuff.
Okay. I thought I thought Project 8, you could do that or whatever.
Oh, Project 8. I remember Project 8, they had that board physics where you would hit the sticks and it would zoom in on your
Slow-mo.
feet and start slapping the board around and stuff.
Yeah.
Still, I was so in awe of that as a kid. I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I was in all of that. Project 8 was the first one of the games that didn't have like a super awesome soundtrack because they just done every good punk song. By then they were kind of like running out of music to put on the games.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we get some cool stuff out of this. We'll see, but let's find out if they close the deal this week, as some people are anticipating them to.
Close the deal.
Close the deal. Close
Finish
it up.
the fight. That should be the tagline. Halo, finish the fight.
Yeah, right. They're gonna close this deal up, and then they're gonna look at Sega, and credits are gonna roll. The cliffhanger.
Oh no! After credits, oh no!
The JoJo ending.
Let's Evan, you have a Discord question over there.
Is RGT85 proud that he did for The Last Hope what Nate did for Ski Sniper?
I think so. You know,
You think you're proud?
Everybody started checking that out after Sean's video. It was really funny. Digital Found did a whole thing on it.
I mean, it's a bizarre game, but you know, glad to get a bad game out there so that people can enjoy my misery that I had playing it.
You have another one, Evan?
With Switch in its final years, where would you rank this gen compared to the past Nintendo consoles and handhelds?
What, for the Switch?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, looking at its library, the install bits, everything. I mean, it's probably the best one.
It's the best gen for me.
Yeah.
Least.
Well, I mean, okay, so here's the interesting thing about this. If you go by gens, technically they combine both handheld and console into one, which means the Wii DS era is like untouchable because that was 56 million. Like you're never gonna beat that. But the Switch still getting probably up to those PS2 numbers is impressive for just basically one SKU. Not
Are we
trying
talking
to
about sales, or we talk about the game like game?
Well, like the generation. I'm thinking because remember they brought their console and their handhelds together for the Switch, so they just have one system now. Whereas during that generation, they were selling two systems at once. So in terms of like their generations, as like we don't have a handheld and a console anymore, we just have one. I don't know if you're ever gonna line up with what they did with the like that DS and Wii era was like a moment in time they'll probably never get again.
Yeah.
But the Switch, for being one system and selling on its own at 125, probably almost 130 million now.
The Wii era, I had to beg to get Xenoblade, so no, I don't like that era. No.
I think just personally, I think I've had more fun with my Switch than I've had with any other Nintendo system by far. I'm obsessed with Final Fantasy. All the Final Fantasies are on it. That's cool to me. I mean, I always wanted multiplayer. That's always been a big thing of mine, is that I had to leave my Nintendo consoles to do multiplayer. And now Splatoon 3 is just freaking amazing. Animal Crossing Islands are super easy. Like, the Nintendo Switch to me is the ultimate Nintendo console, which is part of why I'm so excited for the next generation. Is just give me Switch, but more. That's all I want.
They're gonna do something a little weird then.
Oh yeah. It's gonna have two screens,
foldable screens.
I have to put my heart rate monitor on and be calm to turn it on,
It'll still be the hybrid. They'll do something else to it. It's something. I don't know. 3D screen. I don't know.
I think the Switch is definitely my favorite as well. It's just like you have everything on it. If you want like JRPGs, you have all that. You have legacy content from a lot of their past consoles. We're getting all these like amazing games that people have critically acclaimed for years from the GameCube, like Metroid Prime and the Pikmin games and stuff, and they're all like mashing together onto the Switch. On top of that, you have the amazing library of the Wii U that never was really touched until it came over to the Switch. I think it's just immaculate.
Doesn't have Chameleon Twist 1 or 2. That's all I'm saying.
It's about to have Gex.
It's getting Gex.
It's getting Clock Tower.
It's getting Toomba. It's getting Gex.
The library is untouchable though. I like for Nintendo's generations. This is the best library they've ever had of games.
Also, for me personally, Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 are all on there as well. That's pretty huge for me. So.
And like they just put the whole trilogy of Pikmin, or the whole 4 of Pikmin now that we have. So
the quadrilogy.
Yeah, I don't know what the word is.
You have another Discord question, Evan?
For Mortal Kombat 1, with the people that have been shown so far, who are you looking forward to play as, and who do you hope will be in the game that hasn't been shown yet?
Wait, what was the question again?
For Mortal Kombat 1, with the people that have been shown so far, Who are you
Yes.
looking forward to playing as, and who do you hope will be in the game that hasn't been shown yet?
Oh. Well, I mean, Homelander has like been out there, been thrown out there so many times. Homelander is going to be in there.
Is he going to be
which
just
is
a
really
cameo
funny.
character though?
No, apparently it's a full character.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, Homelander.
They just put him in Call of Duty.
100% Homelander. If Homelander's in there as a full playable character, dead ass playing it like right away.
I agree. It's basic. It's simple. I mean, I've always been a big Sub-Zero fan, so I think I'm curious to practice Sub-Zero. But the idea of Homelander's finishers, like he's going to be dismantling people while they cry. I want to see it.
Oh my god.
I mean, people have
So
mentioned
good.
Reptile. I'd like to see Reptile back in there, obviously. That'd be good. But I just need to see Homelander and how this works exactly. What's his finishing move? Like it was fatalities, all
I
this
need
stuff.
to
I don't
see
know.
like his attitude, like his like person, like how he like, because like Mortal Kombat always has like a lot of moxie and attitude, right? Each character has like their own thing, like how they talk and how they act. So it'd be cool if like Homelander's actually involved in this one, like more than just like, oh, here's just this character. So
I'm also wondering which Homelander shows up, because they might go to the comics.
No, they're making
no,
a movie.
they'll stick to the TV stuff since that's more
they'll stick
widely
to the
known.
Oh yeah, because the comics suck, and I think we can all admit that now.
Well, I think there's more material they can pull from the comics than the show for like Homelander's finishers and moves and all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
there's definitely more. It's just the average person playing the game probably mostly associates.
My other thing is, if they pull Homelander from the show, what does that mean for likeness to Anthony Starr?
Yeah,
That's who plays it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have
well,
to make it look like him.
Yeah, they have
right?
to
Well,
pay
they-
for the contracts and stuff
Yeah,
for
they
it, which
just-
is what they
they
always
just-
do, which is why these games kind of go off like with their DLC.
Yeah.
And they just kind
They
of
just
vanish.
put him in Call of Duty.
In Call of Duty,
like
yep,
this and
that's-
all.
yeah.
there you
He looks and talks identical. First, I've been spending time on TikTok, and gaming TikTok is obsessed with Homelander and Call of Duty, and it's Anthony Starr.
This is no different. I mean, they did this with Arnold. They did
Yeah.
Terminator, and it was straight up him from like T2, right? So, and like they did RoboCop and
They do Rambo as well.
Yeah, they did Rambo.
Yeah.
It was all
They did Freddy
authentic.
Krueger.
Yeah, Freddy
They
Krueger.
did.
So
They're telling you to watch The Boys in the chat, Sean.
Not happening.
It's a show you like.
Right.
Dude, that's the hilarious thing.
No,
It's
it's
the
not.
best.
It's not
Like-
because I hate the boys stuff in Call of Duty.
What?
Matt-
It's not even it's there's no plot line. It's just them.
Yeah, but it's the weird abilities and stuff.
did Homelander kill
Like
you, and now
just
you're mad
bad
at
at the game.
Yeah,
It's
mad
like
at the game.
super jump and laser eyes. That's what's in Call of Duty right now. Nothing else. Just-
That sounds good. Mad 'cause
Teleportation.
bad.
Teleportation.
Okay.
who's teleporting from which character?
In
You-
what?
you-
in
You just get a fucking ability.
you get
Like,
you get
find
the
it on the map.
you get like temporary V, and you inject yourself with it, and you get a random ability, and one of them is teleportation, and it just relaunches you. So, which, hey, to be fair for Sean, it got him out of a tough situation. So I don't know why he's hating on it.
I thought like Hugh was in there or something.
Oh no, they don't have Huey. I think they have Starlight, Homelander, and
Black Noir.
Black Noir.
They have a skin
Black
for Black
Noir,
Noir,
yeah.
I think, is the main thing.
I almost want to play Call of Duty. I'm not going to, but I'm
need to-
tempted to play it at this point, just a
I
little
think
bit.
they disrespected the deep and put him in there.
Ah,
Man,
because he sucks.
the
Yeah,
disrespect.
there's no fish.
Yeah, he'd only be in the water, and he'd just be jerking off in the ocean.
Let's go to one more Discord question, Evan. Then we'll take a look at this PS5 remake.
Anyone
stuff.
know about the upcoming Texas Chainsaw Massacre game?
I played in the betas and the alphas, and I've talked to developers quite a bit. I'm excited for the game, but I do think some people are going to be a little bit disappointed by it, because I do think it's a tinier budget project, like because it's Gun Media, the people that did the Friday the 13th game. But if you liked that, asymmetrical multiplayer, it's not as dark, it's not as gritty. There is a lot of different leather faces and killers and stuff, but I think it's going to find its audience, but I don't think it's going to be bigger mainstream. And I'm curious about its lifespan. I think it's going to kind of have the same problem with Friday the 13th, which is that you can only play it for so long.
Let's talk about this controversial remaster or even remake, and then we'll go to one that I'm actually kind of looking forward to. As we know, people outside of gaming who do music composition, acting, any of that stuff, they don't really understand how secretive the gaming world is, so they just say stuff and just put stuff out there. It happens every single time. It doesn't matter. In this case, though, the series composer for The Last of Us just randomly said, this is Gustavo Santaolalla says there is a new version of Last of Us Part 2 on the way. And it appears set for the PlayStation 5 because there was only a PlayStation 4 version of the game. There is a patch that enables 60 FPS. And I think there is some adaptive trigger support, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's at least 60 FPS, and it's already designed for the PS4 Pro, so it gives you the highest resolution. The game still looks really good. This has confused many people. And it's very weird because Last of Us Part 2 is not an old game. It came out in 2020, June 2020, actually. So it was 3 years ago.
Well, if you look back, I guess the only really difference is that you can play Last of Us 2 on the PlayStation 5 versus back with The Last of Us originally coming out, and then a year later it was remastered just 1 year later on the PS4. But that was out of necessity to bring it over.
Yes.
That's I guess the main difference. But I guess we got 3 years out of this one, so that's long enough, I guess. Right?
Yes.
How much better can you look at what can you remaster with this game? It's like photorealistic. Yeah. Like what can you do?
I made a video talking about this because I feel like people like me for my PlayStation content, but I feel like even as a PlayStation YouTuber of sorts, I'm kind of being like, why? Like, how is this not a patch? How is this not an update? Like maybe even a $10 DLC that turns it into this definitive edition or something. Like the way the guy's talking about it, it does sound like this was actually rumored for the last 2 years that they're doing a Last of Us Part 2 director's cut. It sounds like we're finally getting the director's cut. Like you and I talked about this a while ago, actually, when me and Jordan talked about this when we got Ghost of Tsushima's director's cut. Mm-hmm. But it's still weird because it's like, how much new can be in this? I honestly think this is kind of a misfire. I think their plan was to have Last of Us 1 remake, Last of Us Factions, and then Last of Us Part 2 remastered with skins and stuff that would play into it. So it's like now we have the combined universe on PlayStation 5, but now we don't have Factions. So we just got back-to-back remasters now, which looks weird.
Yeah, I don't really know what they do with this game because they've already, if they didn't do the 60 FPS or the patch for the PS5 and all this, I would have said, okay, well, they can do that. It's already there. It already looks really good. I don't really know what they would do exactly. I mean, director's cut with extra content and maybe some, like with Ghost of Tsushima, they move stuff into real time, so the lip syncing matched up. I don't really know if that's necessary for Last of Us Part 2. It's really hard to make sense as to what they're going to show us. Maybe it is just a director's cut, extra content, and it is a $10 upgrade if you already own it, in which case you can just kind of move along from it. It's going to be odd if this isn't a full retail PS5 release straight up. It's like $70 or something, and it just fills in one of their spots for a holiday season. That would be
like,
weird.
What's the cut content? Because like the game, I mean, I feel like a lot of people can agree with this. Like if you played it, like the game hits a moment where you're like, okay, this is the end, and then there's still like a few more hours.
Yeah.
Like what can you add to like make the, like I just don't see where you can add anything to the game aside from just random
episode afterwards that's like kind of an epilogue or whatever that shows you what happens to.
I feel like that
Abby
ruins the ending.
Yeah, I
feel like
agree
that
that
would
you
ruin
can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if anything, I think it's going to be some completely side content. I was showing my girlfriend, I was showing her, she really loves GTA 5, so I was showing her GTA 4 because she'd never seen it. I was showing her Ballad of Gay Tony and Lost of the Damned, the DLCs, and about how they just were completely random other characters. I kind of want to see, I hope the director's cut is that. I hope it's some random people that are part of the military or the government. Like, show me other stories in this universe. Like, build it out. That's what I want to see more than, like, we've had Ellie, we've had Abby. Show me something new.
You know what it might be? It might be another flashback for when Ellie was a little bit younger with Joel in that meantime of the first game to the second game. Mm-hmm. It could be more there to add in more Joel time. I don't know. I just really don't see, aside from that, what else we can really do. If you're gonna do other characters, that just really sounds like all the leaked stuff about Last of Us 3, you know.
the composer who leaked it said that in Jackson, there's new stuff in Jackson, and you can find his character. He is in the game now, even though it's the composer of the game, and you can request songs from him, and he's on a porch playing a banjo, and he'll play songs for you. So I kind of think maybe we're gonna play as like Tommy, and maybe do something after they leave at the end of the game, and like just be setting up Jackson or something.
Here, I mean, what I would do is I would just throw in the towel on the live service side of factions, and I just release this thing with factions attached to it, and it's like that. Here, this is the content. You get factions with it.
That would
full
make
multiplayer,
sense.
everything. Although then that means they probably should have included it the first time they released it. But it's it at least would be like, okay, there is something there rather than just here it is again. Just it looks better, I guess.
I mean, I'm in an impasse where I feel like this game can't look better. So last year I did a video called "Was I Wrong to Hate Last of Us Part 2?" I put like 40 hours into that game again, found all 250 collectibles. That game still looks perfect. It's like it still plays perfect. I still think Abby is a terrible character, and I don't like the story very much. But like graphically, they can't do it. It already looks like a PlayStation 5 game.
The physics, the fidelity, just the way enemies react in the game, like there's nothing that you can improve to make it a more engrossing experience for what gaming can allow you to do. Like regardless of the story or what you think about it, just the game itself is so damn near perfectly polished. What like you said, there's already a patch that makes it, go up to 60 frames per second. Like what is there? There's really nothing. It feels like we're just re-releasing it.
I think that's kind of it.
Charging
though,
$10 more bucks.
They're like, oh, the Last of Us series did really well, and they probably planned this out ahead of time, thinking it would do well. And
have we not thought about them actually like really enhance? I mean, I know the game already looks incredible, but them really putting the PS5 tools to work here and just making it look even better and just releasing it that way for people, maybe just in that sense. I mean, I agree with everything you guys have said. The game pretty much is already gameplay wise. I think that it's the best gameplay that I've played from them in that sense. Like I like that game more than anything else that they've ever done. I love the upgrading. All that was done really, really, really well. And like the patch makes it, run better and everything. But maybe they just want to make it look like it already looks like a PS5 game, to be honest, but maybe they want to make it look like a super PS5 game. They really want to make it look good. And then they know that they can sell it again. That's the thing. They know they can probably sell it again, and it'll do like 3, 4 million, 5 million, maybe.
Sure.
It'll probably do a bit more. Plus,
I just wonder,
the original version's devalued quite a bit. So maybe they're thinking, hey, people don't want to buy that. You want to see like a premium version that's for PS, like with the PS5 box on store shelves and in the PSN store too.
I kind of wonder if that Last of Us Part 2 didn't do as well as Sony wanted it to. I've thought about that too with the sales, because I don't know if it touched 10 million copies sold, and that game.
It did, yeah.
Was expensive.
Yes, it did sell 10 million, but the only issue that I would say is that it sold 10 million after it was discounted heavily. So while that's good that it sold 10 million, it took a while. And on that install base with that type of hype after that many years, I was guessing Sony would think that it would do like 15 million without a price drop, or maybe 10 million without a price drop, and then maybe another 5 million when it's dropped. But I mean, it was down to like $10.
I do see
the first year. You
guys are right. As of June 2022, it sold 10 million copies.
Yeah. I'm guessing Sony wanted to do a lot more, because like the development of that game was, I mean, that game was insane. Like the cost probably for that game was,
they leaked it during the FTC trial. They leaked it. It cost $220 million to make that, which is, I mean, they definitely made their money back on that 10 million sales, but that's really high. Well, I'm kind of curious if they're trying to monetize the fan base more. I definitely saw, I did a video talking about this, and I was reading a lot of the tweet reactions, and some people were saying, I'm never going to trust Neil Kuckerman again. Some people, I don't know. Some people seem like they got so off put by the game, they don't want to go back. Sorry, go ahead.
I think a lot of that, like that could have impacted the initial sales, or at least the growth of the sales and word of mouth, was the leaking of the story and the images that came out, and it turning out to just be, correct, like not just like fake leaks, which led into just, I mean, obviously controversy sells, but I think at this point, this was more like extreme backlash to where it was like a legit boycott and not like a Pokemon boycott where it's like, they didn't put all the Pokemon in the game, I won't buy it. Just kidding, I bought both versions. This was, I can't buy this because this and this happened. So I don't know. I feel like that definitely didn't help it in its favor. Obviously now The Last of Us has a lot more fans because the show's success, the remake of the first game, there's definitely new people interested in it. I don't think it's a stupid move to have a version specifically for, on store shelves for the PlayStation 5. I just don't see that reason. I just don't see like a okay, this is the smartest decision because of blank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're getting a season 2 for the show, right?
Season 2 and 3 so far confirmed.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm thinking that this is coming out to tie in with that somehow, because there's a lot of new fans, and maybe they bought a PS5 and they played the first game or the remake or whatever, and now with that second season, they can play the second Last of Us. It just kind of goes hand in hand.
It is, but from the leak so I've been following the development of season 2 of the show, and it sounds like the season 2 of the show is not even done casting, so it's probably not going to come out to the end of next year.
Well, this might not be out till next year either. Yeah.
I think from the way the leaks make it sound, I think they're going to try and release this early 2024, so maybe people have a chance to buy it before the season comes out, and oh, you've played the game, now watch the show.
I mean, the game, the remake of 1 came out before the show did, so it would make sense.
Yeah, to me, it makes it from just a branding perspective. It makes sense to just for new people to have that PS5 on the box, to have that PS5 version, not PS4, but PS5. It just seems like if they can get that done for branding purposes and also to make more money, right, to justify resetting that cost on there, then they're going to do it. Just like they did with The Last of Us Part 1, which it worked out. It worked. I mean, I'm not the PC version, but the PS5 version worked out very well. At least the PC version at launch didn't work. I think it's better now, but I think it makes sense for like the TV show or the series and all that to do it. So, I mean, I might play it again.
I think I feel weird about this because now we know that they're making the God of War TV show, and there's the Twisted Metal TV show, and there's the Horizon TV show, and now there's rumors of the Horizon Zero Dawn remake. There's talks about a new Twisted Metal game. It's like, I don't know, it feels weird that Sony's trying to remake stuff to go with the shows or making new games to go with the shows. I don't know. It feels a little cart before the horse. I don't know. I feel like Sony does good IP and good sequels and good stories. So it feels weird that it's just remake.
I agree. I mean, it's interesting to because they update these games to play great on PS5, and then it's like, oh well, here it is again. But I guess we're not that audience, right? The people that have already been invested on PS4 and have a PS5 and already played the games. I think it's for like the newer people, but it's still resources, right? It's still resources. It's not like you can snap your fingers and all of a sudden a PS5 version appears, a wild Pokemon or something like that, right? You gotta put devs on that. So,
well, Joe, so you play Last of Us yet?
I played the first one sort of like on the PS3 a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So
how'd you get I did your parents buy it for you?
Yes, they did. My dad played it with me. It was fun.
Adorable.
Cool.
I think I'd probably be the target audience for whatever this is, since I haven't played Last of Us 2. But I also, you can buy the original one that still plays on the PS5 for $15. It's just, I feel like it's a very weird thing to remake so soon when they have this backlog of games that they haven't touched. At least
you should go borrow The Last of Us Part 2 from someone and play the first 2 hours and see what you think.
Okay.
Buy the game for it's like $9.
I'll pick it up. It's very cheap.
I'll give it to you. I got it.
John, you're so evil.
You watched Mario Golf, right? We were playing that. Yeah. Okay.
Joel and 1.
Let's take another Discord question.
Looping back to the last topic, I'll just try to get this one out of the way. With Microsoft buying out Activision Blizzard, do you think they will make efforts to kind of adjust the, I guess, culture that we've been hearing about negatively these past couple of years, or are they just kind of business as usual and just let everything just kind of do what it does?
Well, I assume they'd have to change some structure anyway, since what's probably going to happen is they'll acquire Activision Blizzard and there will be 2 people for a job that only needs 1 person. And we'll probably hear about layoffs and people leaving, severance packages, all kinds of, there's gonna be a lot of shuffling around. So maybe just from that, you might have some of the culture stuff we heard about from some of those departments getting shaken up. But Microsoft tends to be pretty good in terms of their overall corporate structure and morale and all this. I feel like they would be pretty serious about it. Also, we assume let's be real, Bobby Kodak's probably gone after they pick up Activision Blizzard. I mean, he's not going to leave with nothing. He's going to leave with
He's gonna
$400
pull the
million.
string on the
Yeah.
golden,
Yeah.
He'll be
parachute.
just fine. He'll be just fine. But you know, when things like that change, like that big of a deal, right? Where the guy at the top leaves, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, things start to change at the bottom too, from people like, okay, I can't call in those favors anymore.
$400 million for that. God, it pays to be a
I know.
douchebag, right?
I know. It's crazy because we've read Bobby Kotick threatening to kill his employees and covering up I don't know. It's crazy that at the end that man's like, well, time to take my money and leave. It's like, man, fuck that guy.
I do want to bring up another remake that Sean, I think you might like this one. I
don't like anything.
Why don't you like it? Yeah, I think you like Need
You're
for
becoming
Speed.
more and more like me, Sean. You should stop.
Oh, yeah,
it's
Need
not
for
fun
Speed
over
is
here.
You like Need for Speed? Okay, well let me get your take on this then. All right. So we had once again that someone who's not as familiar with the gaming space being very secretive. This is from Simone Bailey, who played actress in a Need for Speed game. And she said that EA is remaking Need for Speed Most Wanted from 2005, not the other one they did. The one from like the Xbox 360 era, right in there, has I think the Evo on the Evo on the front? Evo or BMW on the front? I can't remember which one.
A car.
Yeah, it's a car. But
Mhm.
that's a very popular Need for Speed. I did a poll asking which one people liked from that generation. It was Most Wanted and Need for Speed Underground 2.
I mean, yeah, like the thing of it is like they did the Hot Pursuit remake too, like that came out on everything. Remember that came out
That was a good one.
a year and a half ago.
I played it. It's good.
Oh, not the,
Yeah.
not the new one.
No, it came out like a year and a half ago or so. So I'm not surprised. I mean, you know, this kind of goes along with The Last of Us. They're low risk, high reward potential decisions to make. I mean, you're not putting a lot of risk into, you know, making a remake like you would a new IP. You're not putting a lot of risk into, you know, making The Last of Us 3 versus The Last of Us 2 remake, remaster, whatever you want to do. You include an extra mode in there. You include maybe some sort of incentive for factions, because I still think factions is going to be its own separate thing. And then, you know, I don't think the Need for Speed thing is going to be like a full $60 remake. It'll probably be like a $40 thing, like we saw with Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, I'm excited. I actually am excited. I saw Most Wanted. I was like, oh, I really like that one. I mean, the other one they did was okay, but just Most Wanted back then was, I don't know, it was cool, I guess is the right word for it. It was also that transition to the 360 where shiny puddles on the ground was a big deal. So I don't know. We'll see how that does. But I'm happy to hear that we might get Most Wanted. Apparently next year, by the way, 2024 is what she said. Then deleted the post. So, you know, we'll have that to look forward to next year. Evan, do we have a Discord question that may or may not work with my sponsor spot?
What's everyone's favorite home cooked meal?
Sean, what's your favorite home cooked meal?
It's got to be Grandma's pizza, right?
The answer is
Yeah,
Factor, because Factor is the Wait, Factor's not a meal. The answer is the meals you get from Factor. This is a sponsor tonight. Shout out to Factor. Ladies and gentlemen, summer is here, which means we want to spend more time outside, less time inside, worrying about making dinner. Factor makes it easy to prepare fresh, never frozen meals in just a few minutes, giving you more time to enjoy your summer plans. Treat yourself to more than 34 weekly restaurant quality options like bruschetta shrimp risotto, green goddess chicken, grilled steakhouse filet. It's all ready in just 2 minutes. There are also plenty of add-ons, including breakfast items and shakes. Factor is cheaper than takeout, making budgeting easy. Meals are delivered straight to your door. And the best part, cleanup is a breeze. Head over to factor75.com or click the link below and use code SpawnWave50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. That's factor75.com. Click the link below. Use code SpawnWave50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. This July, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring today's podcast. All right, let's... I was holding out for MVG. I really was.
Yeah, there's a lot of MVG questions here that I guess we'll just have to skip over.
Man.
He's not coming tonight.
He's not coming. He's on the way.
No.
He's just going to dinner.
I mean, you thought wrong. He's not coming.
Man. All right.
What a no-show. Jeez.
We're going to put the technical questions in Sean's hand for the knowledge and the comedy. All right, let's go, Evan. Hit us with the MVG question. Sean is MVG right now.
Oh, jeez. MVG, what would your dream project be to work on?
Well, talking about the Carbon engine, I would really like to work on Snatcher, the Sega CD game from Konami. You know, bringing it to a new audience. Hideo Kojima, one of his first games that he made. Very interesting story, and you know, one of those games that's still stuck. As far as the official English version on the Sega Saturn, they did do Sega CD. They did do a Sega Saturn version as well, but that was never translated.
Sounds like a real answer. The accent's terrible, but that's really what he would say.
Give the accent a good 8 or 9. It was better than mine.
It was pretty good.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to be
He
the
sounded
stickler.
like a
That was
member of
terrible
the
accent.
Beatles. It was a 6
Yeah.
tops.
Oh, it's me. It's me. I'm from the Beatles. I'm MVG. The clap.
That was good, pretty good, but just off the cuff. Yeah.
You have another one,
What
Evan?
do I know?
Okay. Thank you for working on the Jurassic Park games for limited run games. The music from Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues, is criminally underrated, but I have a question about it. Is the co-op 2-player available via online play? Would love to play JP2 online with other
into
people.
horse Twitter.
Well, we can't really talk about features quite yet on the project, but you know, that is something we are potentially looking into. It's just a matter of, you know, working on the game itself and working with the company. You know, all the companies involved. Obviously, Universal's involved in this with the Jurassic Park license. But yeah, be on the lookout. We'll be releasing more information later on the game.
All
You
right.
say license again for me real quick?
Can I get another later, please?
That was really good.
It's weird how much you nailed it.
We all skipped over when he went Sega Saturn. Like,
Can you say bottle of water?
That was really good, though.
No, I'm answering questions as
MVG is answering.
All right,
You
we
can't
have-
ask
we have-
Sean to say it.
we have one more MVG question. Thank you for the Toomba remake, MVG. What, in your opinion, is the hardest console to work with on the Carbon engine?
Well, right now, if there's a great interview over on RGT's channel where we talk about some of the different consoles that we are using. It's basically a matter of, you know, what the limitations are of the system as far as creating the cores that we use in order to put them into the Carbon engine. Obviously, we've done Sega Genesis, we've done Super Nintendo, we've done PlayStation 1, and, you know, there's going to be a lot more things coming. Definitely something to look towards in the future of where we can take this engine.
We have to clip this entire thing and make sure MVG sees it.
I'm hoping he's watching right now,
He needs
nowhere
to know
close
how
to
you
something
hear
he can
him.
log into, and is just like, no!
Yeah, he's watching us in the restaurant shaking with rage. Like, why did he leave a G out of Genesis? Shish.
He ruined his dinner.
Let's go. Let me go over to some of these super chats here, and then we'll discuss. We have the showcase to go over that included Toomba and Gex in there, and then we also talk a bit about Exoprimal. So that's coming up soon. Let's see some of these supers here. Patrick says, "Is it safe to download 3DS ROMs? Any tips?"
Use a VPN if you're worried about it.
Okay. Mighty Ryan asks, "Is No More Heroes 3 worth getting at $20?"
I think so, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
got
say
the collector's edition for like that much.
yeah, they had the box set on Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got it
that's
for cheaper
cheaper
than that.
I recommend it either way. I mean,
What, like
it's,
$18?
I got it for $14.
Damn.
That's good. pickup, too.
Damn. That's a
Yeah,
crazy get up.
I mean, if you see it for 20 on Amazon right now, Ryan, I think it's worth the $20 bill. Yeah, especially if you get it physically. The box set, it's actually pretty nice. So
Mhm.
Solo says with the actor strike going on, what impact do you think it has on video games, if any? Thanks, and keep up the great work. What would be the you know what impact that might have, Jordan, on
Well, I mean, it's actors and writers, I imagine.
like
writers,
if any
right.
likenesses or mocap stuff that might be involved in games.
I think the interesting. I haven't talked to some people, but I wonder that this really affects voice actors. I think that would be the biggest thing, especially like you said, like motion capture, actually physically, you know, doing that kind of acting, but also just the voice work in general. With right now, anyone a part of those guilds, they can't promote, they can't talk about it, they can't work, they can't do anything related to it. So if it's as much of a halt, like obviously the games can still be developed, but any work in terms of that, if it does affect the voice actors the same, then there's a big pause on it. most likely, like on that part of the production.
I follow some video game writers, and almost all the US based video game writers are part of SAG-AFTRA, so they're all currently striking too. But video game writing is done pretty late into development, so I think that's not as major as actors.
Mm-hmm.
Buzz says, a man's life at 50 years under the sky is nothing compared to the age of this world. Life is but a fleeting dream and illusion. Is there anything that lasts forever?
Spyro.
Yeah.
Delta says, I love my
IRS.
Xbox. Delta says, I love my Xbox, and there's nothing Dreamcast guy can do about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna break into your house and steal it. How do you feel about that? So someone DM'd me on like 10 times on my Facebook. They messaged me on my Facebook over and over again, like, "How do you feel about that FTC deal?" I was like, "Fine." I made a video about it. It's the guy's like, "I bet you're mad." Like, I'm really not. I really don't care. Like, you're so mad.
I want to
says-
meet the image people have in their heads of you one day. Like,
I
an
know.
interesting person.
I do a thing sometimes where I'm like hanging out with my girlfriend or my friends, and I'll open up like mean tweets where people are just making things up about me. Where I'm just like, here's some person who has completely convinced themselves I'm the devil, and I don't know what to do about it. Like,
Which girlfriend you hanging out with this week, Max? Or no?
I'm kind of wearing the headphones. She's gonna stand right there and yell at me.
I'm just messing around, bro. No, I bet she's a nice lady.
Glenn says, just showing support to the Spawncast. Thanks, Glenn. Let's see. Trom says, Microsoft can officially get away with anything now. They'll soon be acquiring multiple Japanese publishers with the excuse of can't compete in Japan. They would have already done that if they could have. Cody says, thoughts on TikTok NPC trend going viral?
Those are great.
It's
I
so
love
creepy
them.
to me.
It's so funny. It's so good.
I don't know if it's good. It's creepy.
No, it's definitely creepy, but it just keeps getting funnier the longer it keeps going on, because now people are unironically making fun of it and then doing live streams of them making fun of it, and then they're also making a lot of money doing that.
It's a thing where like a super hot person stands on there and they like pretend to be like a video game character, so like bobbing, and for every time people like super chat, they can put an emoji for like a cherry or something like that, and they'll read it, but they read like an NPC. It's like, ice cream, so good. Dog emoji, and they'll just have for hours. These women are making like thousands of dollars an hour, but it's this creepy robotic flat voice. It's super weird, and it's what I'm saying. It's like NPC fetish, where it's like, I want to pretend this girl's like a video game character.
The one girl who went viral with it, there's a lot of clips of her recently just breaking character to like school her son in like learning French. So she'll just break character, start speaking French to her son, and it's just it just keeps going. It's so funny. It's so dumb. I love TikTok. It's just, you never know what's gonna happen next.
Interesting.
They're raking in a lot of money, though. Not a bad.
There's this one.
One girl. Stupid amounts of money.
There's this one chick. She'll like, if you donate enough, she'll like pop popcorn and stuff, and so she'll sit there and like do these animations, and she's like, "Oh, gang."
No, dude, she's popping popcorn with a hair straightener. So she'll put the kernel in the hair straightener, and she'll just sit there till it pops. She goes, "Oh, popcorn, so good." Gang.
Yeah, I love
gang. Ice cream so good.
I'll keep it a
Gang.
buck. This sounds ass.
I'm gonna my next live stream. I'm gonna.
It's all over. Please.
Yeah, this should
Rosie,
honestly be
please.
OJ's next live stream.
go
Try it
try
out,
it
buddy.
before
Just do it with Nintendo. Nintendo. Samus.
Nintendo.
Pew pew.
Sales so good. Xbox bad.
All right, if people say making thousands, I'll try it, but we'll see.
Do it once.
Do it, OJ.
Just put the toe
Do
in.
it
See if you
once.
like it.
Whatever gets the job done.
Feel it out.
This is from Pony Up. Says, Android or iPhone? Aether's X2 made the difference for me. I'm still on Android. I don't know, I've looked at the iPhone here and there.
iPhone.
I like Android.
I'm sorry.
I'm on iPhone. I like the operating system. It works with everything else I have.
There you go. Vision says, does the actor-writer strike affect the game industry? Jordan just commented on that. Wow, a lot of questions about that one. Cristobal says, Homelander from The Boys is appearing in both Warzone and Mortal Kombat 1. If RGT likes how he plays in his story, will he give The Boys a chance? He already said he hates all of that in Call of Duty, so now he's further away from watching it.
Did the opposite effect.
Although Mortal Kombat could bring you back in. Possible.
There's a
Possible.
chance.
He's not gonna. I'm not gonna play as him though.
No, but
Why?
someone might kill you as him and enrage you, and then you feel like you have to go off and do research to figure out how to beat him.
No, that makes no sense. Yeah, I would look at the meta for the character, not like,
So
oh shit,
you'd be
let me
reading into
watch
the boys,
the
you'd be
show.
getting into the boys then. Okay, cool.
You know,
Got 'em.
you should watch. It's so weird because you would love the show. I've never seen a
He
man
would.
hate a show that he would love.
All the
I-
superhero characters act like you.
I watched the one intro and I was like, I don't like this.
Just watch go
The
on YouTube
butthole
and
thing.
search up the deep for his scenes, and then
Oh,
see
what's
what
There's a guy who can shrink himself, so he does a bunch of cocaine and shrinks himself and goes inside a guy's boner, starts jerking his dick off from the inside of his boner, and then sneezes the cocaine out and explodes the guy's dick from the inside. That's the beginning of a season. It's a great show.
That sounds horrible.
It's the best show.
Like I like weird shit, but I don't necessarily like to watch weird shit.
The
You
thing
know what I'm
about the boys isn't weird. It's that's a weird part that happened, but it all makes sense in context of the show in terms of what, like, it all makes sense there. The boys, you can't just watch one episode. You got to watch like the whole first season. And if the whole first season vibes with you, then okay. But it takes more than one episode because you don't really realize what's going on until at least a number of episodes in. Like, I thought that this show isn't that great. And then I was like, oh shit, by like the 5th or 6th episode. Like, so
that whole scene specifically, like, the whole show is a majority of satire, right? So
Yeah.
the thing about that was really just answering the joke question about why didn't Ant-Man just defeat Thanos by shrinking down, going inside of him, and expanding.
Mhm.
That was the answer to that. So like, while it's like ridiculous, like there was a point to like, oh yeah, I mean that could just be a thing that could have happened,
Interesting.
except in a really hypersexual, violent way. The show portrayed it.
Fish fan says, John, is it possible to improperly install an M2 on the PS5 and damage the port? Followed your install guide and nothing went well. Thanks, RGT for president. It'd be kind of different. I mean, it's slotted one way unless you didn't have the right kind of drive and you just try to jam something else in there. I mean, it'd be very difficult to slot it in otherwise. So I'm not really sure how you could damage it necessarily.
I bought and installed an M2 this week because it was on sale on Prime Day, and I did it without instructions. I just opened it up, put it in. I don't know how you could do it wrong.
Tijo says, am I the only one who thinks Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard along with the entire games industry is bad news for gamers?
Yeah,
I
probably.
said in a video and people are very mad at me, but I think that once these acquisition floodgates are opened, I think Tencent is going to start crushing it. Earlier, Spawnwave said it. I think once Amazon starts buying up studios, people are going to realize, like, oh yeah, this actually sucks.
it's good for people that love Xbox, right? I guess it's
Oh, yeah.
if you're into the ecosystem, but I don't know how it's good for everyone. I don't know what good for everyone. Good for Xbox because, like, for example, like if they bought Bethesda. Well, if you like PlayStation, obviously it's not good for you, like because you're not going to get Indiana Jones and stuff like that. So it's great for Xbox, but I don't know if it's good for everybody, like the whole industry. Like I don't know about all that. There's some good aspects of it, but it's not all like it's 100% positive and there's no negative for everybody involved. There's good and bad based on whatever you like, and if you have all the systems, then it's fine, right? Then it's okay for you, but you can't speak for everybody in terms of the industry as a whole. There's definitely some things that aren't good, like Max is bringing up and some people have brought up. Like it can cause a ripple effect in terms of other things, but overall, it's fine. They did it. It's happened, so they got it, so they can move. Everybody can move on, right?
Yeah,
I think
mean,
it's
go,
I think
Josie.
it's good that it's almost done. I just think it's good that it's about to end, but as a whole, it could lead, like Max was saying, to some crazy stuff and hopefully not monopolize the industry, but it has a big chance of it, which is the fear of a lot of people, I think.
It's good
Well, I
for
would-
Game Pass. You like Game
Yeah,
Pass?
it's good for Game Pass. Yeah,
Phenomenal
well,
for Game Pass, you know?
you can look at. I mean, you can also look at it this way. Activision Blizzard was seeking to be purchased. Microsoft didn't go to them necessarily. Activision Blizzard went to Microsoft, and there apparently were other large companies looking at Activision Blizzard. So
Yeah.
while we're sitting here talking about Microsoft buying them right now, it's very possible in an alternate universe we could be talking about Tencent buying Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, that,
so
that would
just-
have been good.
Yeah, just
That
put
would've
that
been
out
way
there.
worse.
So
Yeah, but
it's-
people are
it's
looking at
possible.
like Rare got, but I don't think Rare being bought was good for anybody. Like I mean, I guess if you like Sea of Thieves, great, but like everything else has been ass, outside of Sea of Thieves. So it's like it just depends. It can go either way. Like maybe Microsoft gets them, and it turns out to be incredible, and the game's output is so much better. So we just kind of have to wait and see a little bit,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, we do need to see what they do because they might not even do anything. Like they might not try to steer the ship too much with them and just let them keep doing their thing. So who knows? We'll see though. We'll see. Michelle says, just want to say you guys are great. Thanks, Michelle. Zoob says, I got the Poke Plus Plus.
Yep.
$30 feast for one at Panera. Check is 0. P.S. Everyone should stop making videos over 140 minutes long, even podcasts. Yeah, it's
Hey.
not happening. We're all now. It's going to be 141 minutes now.
Hear that, Jordan?
No, I don't. I got 12 hours for you to say otherwise.
I saw the Poke Plus Plus. I thought about getting one and taking it apart to look inside of it, but yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. Do you use
What is it?
is Pokemon Sleep out now?
The app, the actual app is not out yet, but
Okay.
this has sleep features in the game, so you can use this to do the sleep tracking within
Right.
Pokemon Go for stuff, but there's no sleep feature yet. Separate app.
So your Pokemon game knows you have a horrible sleeping habit right now, Jordan.
Yeah, so I got the device. It's like, hey, maybe I'll actually sleep. We'll see.
Mm.
Pokemon keep waking Jordan up. Go to sleep, man. Bruh, go to sleep. What you doing?
Do we want to talk about? We can talk about the LRG stuff that happened, as we did have a full showcase. More than 20 games were there. Mostly they show up to give us a look at a lot of older classics making the jump to modern platforms, as well as a bunch of physical copies that you can buy, collector's editions, the whole thing, right? And they did not disappoint. They had some surprises in here, and let's just start from the top. Let's see, Castlevania Advance Collection. We already have that game released, but this is going to be a physical copy. They have 4 different covers. Look kind of cool. I don't know if there's a certain cover people were looking at or which one would be the most popular. But it was cool to see just a collector's copy for that.
I'm gonna pick it up for sure.
Yeah, which cover you get?
Whatever one is
You got
not sold
an
out.
Oh, yeah,
I don't really know.
you're gonna want to be there at definitely whenever that pre-order goes live. That thing's gonna sell like crazy, I bet. Rise of the Triad. And anyone? No.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
Let's see, Scarlet Symphony. Then the making of. How is it? Is it Karateka? How do you pronounce that, Sean?
Well, Corteca.
Okay.
Do I have to say it with the accent?
Thank you. Tiger Heli Collection. A lot of excitement going on right now. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition. Okay.
Cool. I
El
love it.
Shaddai.
El Shaddai.
Dungeons of Aether. Then Chicory, A Colorful Tale, getting a physical copy. Paradise Collection. Okay, this is a cool one. All right. Shantae Advance, Risky Revolution. It is back in development after 20 years. This has actually been like paused development for 2 decades. Coming back, and it's announced for the Game Boy Advance. So it's not even announced for like the Switch or anything like that. It's coming out on a Game Boy Advance cartridge.
What? I
Yes.
did not hear that.
Yep. So they're going to release, I think it'll have the full cardboard box, everything. And it comes as a Game Boy Advance cartridge with a manual and everything.
I think that stuff is so cool. I like
Dude,
that
yeah.
they do it.
I'm super. People that follows me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm obsessed with Game Boy modding and stuff like that, dude. I'm gonna review a Game Boy Advance game. That sounds insanely cool.
It's never come out. It's back in development. No release date or anything given, but the fact that it is back in development, that is an interesting road that LRG could go down with stuff like this, to go find games that maybe even got paused development and or older games that maybe want a sequel on a cartridge, right? Released for that older system. I think that's interesting.
I'm curious about there are some Dreamcast games that are done but never got released, like Propeller Arena or Half-Life Dreamcast. It'd be cool if they ever got rights to actually really print those, because the Dreamcast community still loves those.
Yeah, I mean, that's just I just think that's a cool idea. So why not? Then we have the Jewel of Faramore, Nightmare in This Way Madness Lies, Midnight Fight Express, Colossal Cave, Another Crusade, Gargoyles Remastered.
Nice.
Kind of cool, yeah. Let's see, Rose and Camilla Collection, Double Shake, Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection. All right, Sean, it's your time.
Yeah, look, well, I mean, they didn't really show off a bunch of stuff, but I thought it was interesting that the Jurassic World Twitter account shared that, and they said there's going to be like limited edition merchandise as well. And I'm very interested to see what that is, because I think that could be really cool.
I thought you were going to bury this collection because the Genesis stuff isn't there.
Well, the Genesis stuff might show up eventually. I don't know if I don't think it's finalized yet. But yeah, I mean, the Genesis stuff not being on there is a bit of a disappointment, because then you're just stuck with the 2 Super Nintendo games, the NES game and the Game Boy game. And the NES, first Super Nintendo, and Game Boy games are all the same.
Am I remembering the Super Nintendo game correctly, where it was like I was picturing a Jurassic Park game to be a certain way, and instead when I rented it, it was top down?
Yes.
Okay, that threw me off.
Was that the one where you
it-
go inside places though, and then you get like that
Yes.
weird first person view?
The goggle vision.
Yeah.
That was weird. Okay, because I remember the Genesis one was 2D side scrolling, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's weird. Interesting.
It's a
All
good
right.
birthday present. September 1st, right? That's when it comes out. Is that what it said?
And look, it doesn't have the
Anyone?
date here on this one.
Hello,
The list I
Bueller?
have here doesn't have the date. It is coming out very quickly. I can pull this up. September 1st is when the pre-order start, and they end on October 15th.
Wow, that's when I thought it was coming out on my birthday. Okay, well,
Happy birthday.
it's fine. I'll
Jordan.
just cry.
Clock Tower was next up.
Hell yes.
Super Famicom game that is coming out, and I'm curious how this one is going to go over with people, because it is I don't know if people know what this game is necessarily. Kind of a point and click horror game. I'll be curious to see how that goes over now.
I have an original Super Nintendo cart of it, one of those translated repros. So I've played the original version, and they've clarified that this is the exact original game. Like, they're not really updating the gameplay. There's just like, it's the exact game. They're just going to put in some like art and like an opening movie and an ending movie and some like little special features. But that's kind of what I want. This is one of the earliest like horror games. It's like crazy. So I'm super curious to see it come back.
Okay. Then the two big reveals at the end, both on the Carbon engine, right? There was a whole interview Sean did with MVG on his channel and everything. And there were a lot of questions about this over on the Spawncast network, because we did the Ask a Developer questions, and a lot of people were wondering about the Carbon engine because Toomba got announced, which was not expecting that. That was very random. A very strange PS1 game, but definitely one that people remember because of the I would say just how colorful the game is, the character, and throwing pigs everywhere. That it's an interesting one to bring up. I think it's kind of neat because there's also a second one that was pretty good, and I wouldn't mind seeing that come out too. But then the Gex trilogy.
Yeah,
It kind of trolled some people because it looked like it was GoldenEye for a minute there. But the Gex trilogy, Jordan, are you on this?
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you'd been all about this.
No, I've been about. Everyone keeps saying that I've been champion for Gex. I've been champion for Croc.
Yeah,
okay?
I know it's Croc. Gex
right.
is like
It's
the
a
Walmart
different
version.
green lizard. Okay.
Hey, listen, Gex 1 is better than people think. Like, I know the 3D games, people talk about those, but Gex 1, that's a good game, man. It's fun.
Well, we get the whole trilogy, so I will be playing Gex. Why not?
I like Gex 1, 2, and 3. I've beaten them, but man, something about Toomba. Toomba's one of those like games I beat in a summer with friends that I have a lot of memories about, and I'm kind of curious to go back and play it and see if it's as good as I remember. Because even seeing those pictures brought back so many memories. Like I'm on that Toomba train.
Yeah, I had played it somewhat recently when I did a PS1 HDMI video, and I have the game, so I had used it for it, and it's an interesting 2D side screen. It was definitely trying to show off what the PS1 could do with kind of the still 2D, but try to throw in some of that 2.5D stuff to it and all this. But
So you're saying it didn't age well?
it could use a little bit of polish, and I think that's the idea here. I think it'll look a little better, obviously, on a HD screen and everything. So and I'll be curious to see how the Carbon engine handles these PS1 games, because that's a big thing,
Carbon
right?
engine, it's going to handle it perfectly, right? It has
Hey,
to.
MVG's been putting in that work, so I'm
Or he's a
gonna be
fraud.
curious to see how the.
No, I'm serious. If this doesn't turn out right, MVG's a fraud, and I'm not going to buy anything anymore.
But if it turns out really well, that's gonna make him like legendary status. You know, he bought
he's
Toomba and
rich.
Gex to the.
I mean,
to all these
you could
By the way,
make quite a
Gex
bit of money
trilogy?
from this.
Gex trilogy. So we got obviously 3 games there, right? All running on the Carbon engine. It's coming out for Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and Steam. It's coming out on everything just about. So it's a lot of systems to account for on that one too. That'll be
Toomba's
interesting.
missing Xbox for some weird reason.
Xbox is occasionally missing from some of these announcements. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. I don't
Clearly
know.
a bias.
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
that.
I
Haven't
hate
you getting
these
called
ones.
out for Toomba?
It's your fault. Dreamcast guy, I gotta blame somebody.
It's my fault. I was like, MVG, we got to talk. Look, skip the Xbox. It's the trash box one. Just skip it. And he was like, you got some good points there, brother.
You know what?
I know-
I thought it was a pretty good showcase. That was fun. It was cool to see some of those older games come up, and definitely some
Castlevania.
big surprises. Castlevania is cool to get a physical of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the cool one for me. Castlevania, man, because those cartridges are expensive.
yeah, and it'll be interesting. I think next year, I guess we'll be buying a new Game Boy Advance game, the Shantae.
Hell yeah.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. I will pick that up and try it out. And maybe
What
in a
is
box
like the
then.
legacy of Gex? Like, why is this such a big thing? Can someone explain?
It's kind of meme worthy a bit.
Okay.
Well, it's good. There was this era where people were kind of trying to make their own 2D games where like Mario was big and then it had gone 3D. And so a lot of people were just kind of throwing stuff at the wall. Early PlayStation 1 development was really cheap. So people were kind of making stuff. So someone was like, what if we made a secret agent Gecko? What if we made like a James Bond side scroller?
Well, his
with
thing
a
was
lizard?
his thing was just pop culture jokes, bulk
Yeah, it was
pop
like
culture
parody
jokes.
and yeah. So
it wasn't just individual companies trying to get mascots. It was just any game developers are trying to get some sort of
Yeah.
mascot popping off.
So
Yeah.
so Gex kind of makes fun of like movies and music and TV from that time, that sort of thing, and even other video games. Like I think one of them's what Gex Enter the Gecko, and like there's a lot of funny stuff that they did at the time. And curious how that ages now, actually.
Yeah, I don't know because
social media is gonna like some of that.
I
There's
have
a bunch of references that aren't relevant.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I have his voice burned in my head from that Poltergeist quote for the whole move the headstones, not the bodies part. When you get to the map and you just keep saying it over and over again.
Yeah.
What's it sound like?
I'm not. No.
Say it.
No.
Release the demons inside you, Evan.
I like them in there.
You know what I just thought of? Is MVG the biggest YouTuber / game developer? Because I'm thinking about it. It's weird to think that MVG is a great YouTuber. His content is amazing. But also, how many tens of millions of people maybe have played his games? That's like such a weird thing to think about because he's such a normal guy to us. But like MVG's kind of killing it.
He ain't no Alana Pierce.
Well, he also did development all the way back to the original Xbox. He actually worked on emulators that people were
I know.
using back then and still now.
When he told me that, it blew my mind. I played those hacked Xboxes back in the day. So it's weird that was him, you know?
Was wild.
Yeah, it is interesting how that kind of worked out with all the emulators and stuff from the Xbox back in the day to now. So
Well, now we have Sakurai, so I mean, we got all the he's
True.
MVG
Yeah.
paving the way for Sakurai to come in, right?
Yeah. And a lot of Pierce, yeah, but I feel like I don't consider a lot of Pierce a YouTuber because YouTube doesn't pay her bills, whereas YouTube does play MVG's bills, theoretically.
That's a side job for him. YouTube. That's not that's a side hustle.
Yeah. His real job is the
Oh, game
development
dev.
side of things.
Yeah. Well, I guess, and that he does, I think it's the only guy I can think of that does like weekly YouTube videos and
That's
game
a
dev.
lot.
Yeah,
stuff.
let me. He
Alana.
uses
Does
his
a lot of
YouTube
man.
money.
Yeah.
He uses YouTube money to buy big houses in different states. Okay, guys, that's really what it just
Ah.
comes down to. That's where it just
That's
goes
the
to
real money.
the lavish lifestyle that he lives. So I'm just letting
9
y'all
days ago, Alana had a video, and then 10 days, and then 13 days. She's very happy.
Oh, okay. In that case, I apologize to Alana Pierce.
good showcase though. A lot of fun stuff in there. Evan, do we have a Discord question?
It was cool catching some of the squad IRL at the Too Many Games Con a couple weeks ago. Will the video from your panel at Too Many Games be going up on the YouTube channel? I'm guessing we still didn't set up to record that or anything.
Oh, the panel we had that was recorded. I'm just trying to get the information from the con because they
Oh,
did.
they
They did.
actually
I mean,
set
they
it up.
saved it. It was actually really nice, way better than it
Yeah.
should have been. they
Those
spent a
lights
lot
are
of
really bright.
they spent a lot of time setting that up for what was just us kind of having some fun, messing around and taking questions. So, but hey, it was well done, much better than the
Yeah.
year before, is what I'll say. But yeah, I'll
Yeah.
Shout out to
we'll put-
Ryan. Ryan was with us.
Yeah. Ryan was our special guest on the podcast. It was fun, good time. Good time. You have another one, Evan?
Would you ever consider inviting Patreon supporters to play some co-op games for fun?
I wouldn't mind doing one where it was like take advantage of one of those games where you can have like 100 people playing at once. Not everybody want to do Switch. Not that one.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. I don't know. With the screen, the each person to make sure they're not going to get too crazy with their cell phone pictures.
Like chuck the things off your phone. Pretty epic.
Maybe we'll do something. I know Fortnite has like the 100-person thing. I know Fall Guys has like a whole bunch of people can play. So I wouldn't mind looking up some of those games to see what would make it so that the most amount of people can get into it. Yeah, like something like that could be kind of cool. I don't know if we can make that work, but
I know I've seen some people do a thing where Mario Kart 8 has where you can like make a lobby and everyone could just join it. I feel like that'd be kind of cool too. And I think that's 32 people and it like goes tournament style, so the overflow fights each other and gets back into the main game, I think. But
it can be even more. Yeah, it can be a bunch of people. With Mario Kart's really easy, and I hate saying this because I want them to make a new one, but man, the new stuff that they added, the new Wave DLC is actually really good.
Yeah,
it's actually real.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Plus.
Yeah,
good on that.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
launch title.
But no, it's a lot of fun, and the online's good. So yeah, that would be fun.
Okay. Well, yeah, I want to work something out with that. I think it'd be kind of cool to try to pile in, like actually fill up a lobby of like 100 people and see what happens. Could be fun. You have another Discord question, Evan?
We did just talk about it, but who's going to try to get a copy of Gex?
Oh, I'll try to get a copy of that. Absolutely. See, Joseph's going to get one.
I'm buying a lot of the games I mentioned. I want to buy all of them digitally. I've bought a couple limited run game stuff, and they take too damn long for my taste. So I'm just going to buy them digitally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they do take a long time.
They do.
Absolutely do.
They do.
I'm just saying, MVG never won Game Developer of the Year.
Cristobal says, "Welcome back, Jordan. Pixels is an underrated video game movie, in my opinion. What's your guys' future video game movie that is not Mario or Sonic? Free Guy."
You'd say our favorite video game movie?
Wait, was Free Guy their choice, or was that your choice?
They just said Free Guy with a question mark. Yeah.
Oh.
Favorite video game movie that is not Mario. Man, that's tough.
I think the longer I get from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, the more I kind of don't like that movie because it is so weird. It's so
weird.
It was
very flashy at the time.
It's also super long. I've rewatched the extended cut. That movie goes on for about 30 full minutes, too damn long. But I still really appreciate it. I still really like the idea that there is a canon Final Fantasy VII movie that is so weird.
What about like Uncharted? You think that'll be
a pretty
favorite? Yeah. Okay.
Tom Holland was cool.
Yeah, Tom Holland's fine in that movie, but that movie fundamentally does not understand Uncharted. One bit.
And Mark Wahlberg not having his mustache till the after credit scene was stupid.
Mark Wahlberg does not know who Sully is. That's the problem. He doesn't act like Sully at all.
I know. It's so weird. It's like, what the fuck?
What are you doing, Tom? We gotta go. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of this room.
What are you doing? I'm wearing a suit all of a sudden.
Grab the thing. It's worth money. We gotta go. Come on. Great movie.
Future Millionaire says, "RGT, have any tips on selling off my entire game collection? Mostly 360, PS2, 3, 4, and Genesis, SNES, and all the handheld Pokemon game lines."
If you want maximum dollar, you're going to spend a lot of time listing stuff on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, this, that, and the other. I mean, really, your options for selling a large lot is hit up some of the YouTubers that buy lots, Phoenix Resale, Retro Rick, local video game store, see if they're interested as well. If you're selling it all at once, don't expect 100% of your price charting value. That is contingent on selling each item individually. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't be afraid to negotiate. And yeah.
SLM says, "Jordan, thank you for your Survivor video."
Thank you for watching it.
Fuzz says, "Starfield guy downing hot chips."
Yeah. Me and my love of Starfield.
Are you Starfield guy?
I know. People
like
are
this
mad.
week, yes.
I'm not excited for that game, and people are like really mad. Like, you're supposed to be.
Why don't you change your Twitter account name to Starfield guy?
No, I'm thinking about maybe what I'll do is put like the Starfield waiting room. Dreamcast guys, like, I'm in the Starfield waiting room because we're finally gonna get an Xbox game.
There's 1,000 planets. You should be excited.
Yeah, right. 1,000 empty worlds. I can't wait to.
No life in load screens. Let's go.
They straight up said that like 99% are going to be empty, barren wastelands, and people are like, "No, bro, 1,000 full worlds."
Listen, sometimes you need that ambience. It's like Metroid Prime, but different. So no, take it.
Stand there alone and listen to Todd Howard.
Slayer says,
that sounds good.
As a wise man once said, 99% chance the deal is blocked. Another help from Microsoft.
Yeah,
they're after Max.
I know. I like people show screenshots of months ago. Like, here's you reacting to news months ago. Like, yep, and I was wrong. Yep, that's happen when new information happens. Someone said, if Starfield comes out, you're gonna love it. I was like, yep, I want good games. I like good games. Like,
Brian says, I can't believe Toomba is being ported to consoles. Months ago, I was saying I hope they bring Toomba since they brought Klonoa. Did you guys know Toomba was coming out since MVG is working on it? We did not. MVG is very good about keeping his secrets. So
he just says, watch out for this thing. And that's all he'll just tell us.
Is he though?
Oh.
Baker says,
"I'm fired."
Yeah, no. MVG keeps it to himself.
Yeah, he does.
Baker says, RGT, congrats on quitting cigarettes. You're inspirational.
Thank you. Yeah, been since January.
Sonic says, Jurassic Park SNES. Thank you, MVG. T-Joe says, Josie, did you know that gaming in the 90s didn't have any DLC or updates or microtransactions? What are your thoughts on old school gaming versus modern gaming with live services?
I like that you didn't have microtransactions. I don't like that that's where we're going. I prefer the games that I grew up with and now versus the ones from the 90s, more or less, just because I've grown up with them and I like that style of game better, but I can appreciate if they're cool and big, and I like that they're finished when they release, usually.
Okay. There you go. You know, it's actually really interesting. I got this modded Xbox all set up and running and rolling along. There's an entire section in this dashboard for DLC that was released for the original Xbox for all the games. I forgot there was that much. There's a ton of DLC. I forgot how much there was. They managed to preserve all of it, and you can just download it. It's kind of interesting.
What are some games? I can only think of like KOTOR. Really?
No, there was well, they have the roster update for NFL 2K5. So you can actually play that with like updated rosters that they had. No, they had like they had maps for new maps for AMP 2, like the snowboarding game. They have Forza updates. Halo 2's update is on there.
Oh yeah, the map pack.
Yeah. I have to go back and double check all of them, but there was a whole, tons of different DLC.
I was really into games. Phantom Dust back in the day, and Phantom Dust had DLC cards.
That's on there too. That's on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was kind of scrolling through it for the video. Zbat says, thanks, Jordan, for taking the time to talk tonight. Last few weeks have been quiet without you. Cheers, guys, and OJ.
Glad to do what I can.
Hey, Jordan got that Survivor video out. He's back.
Yep.
Roland says ponies in shambles over the Xbox ABK deal.
You see, some Sony ponies deleted their accounts on Twitter. There were people whose whole thing was screw Activision Blizzard, and when the deal went through, a bunch of people literally deleted their Twitter.
I heard about that. Straight up, just what was it like?
Just nuked.
Done.
Why?
Because they were being so freaking stupid and talking too damn much about this and making it seem, just saying all sorts of stuff and wilding out and making all sorts of proclamations and making bets too, like, oh, I bet you, and then obviously they're going to have to cash in on that, or what people are going to give them help, so they just delete the account. It was a soft account anyway.
There are people being like, this deal is dead, Microsoft is dead, another L, and then the deal went through, and then all these accounts just got
man,
wiped.
Live for Retro said, did anyone watch the Japan Nintendo Direct? I did not.
No.
Determined says, just no hero in. Also, what's a Homelander? You gotta watch The Voice.
Homelander, it's Superman. He's Superman.
Basically, yeah.
But not nice.
Not nice.
Not nice.
Kind of evil.
Yeah. Hi says, are any of you guys and gals doing a video on Kelsey Lewis's article on game preservation? And Evan, go to Gen Con. I said Evan, go to Gen Con.
I did talk about
that'd be good for tabletop stuff. That's in
I'm
Indiana.
not going to
big convention. It's like a massive convention.
Go to Indiana? No.
Just letting you know, man. They said you got to go
for the game preservation stuff. Yeah.
But PAX Unplugged is in Philly, so I'll just go there.
There you go. There's a whole. What is that?
I gotta double check.
Unplugged.
Oh, you go to that, but not TMG.
There's a whole study attached to that report too. It's kind of interesting to look through how they figured some of that stuff out.
But what?
Okay, Sean, go ahead.
No, never mind.
I got time for you. He's got Exoprimal left. Go ahead.
No, never mind.
I know you want to say stuff. Emulation King.
Just
You're rubbing your chin. You're like right there. You're about to start.
Unleash it.
He's clenching the fist.
all I'm gonna say is, it's great to have an idea, but without a plan and without execution of said plan, it's just simply an idea.
Okay.
Deep.
Thank you. AJ says, is there any possibility Bobby Kotick steps away, gets kicked out of Activision? I might consider playing COD again, but never until he's removed. I think he's going to leave and just be very wealthy on an island somewhere. Just that's it. He'll just buy a piece of the earth and just be just hundreds of millions of dollars to do whatever he wants. So
He's going to make his own Epstein Island.
he's going to probably buy a bunch of yachts. He's probably going to buy some planes and just do what he wants for the rest of his life. Jeffrey says, play Last of Us 1 remake, then go to Last of Us 2 with the latter animations, limbs, textures are jarring and stick out. It can and should look better. There you go. Maybe they will do the director's cut. Good morning. Studio says, I want an Infamous show just so I can get a remake. That would
No, I just want the game.
kind of cool. Oh, you did? Yeah.
I just want the Infamous next game to come out. I would take a redo of the first game, a remaster of the second game. I don't know, anything.
I feel like they could do a show for it. I think it's possible. I think that would actually be pretty interesting.
Yeah, as into shows and movies as I am, I just would like the games at this point. Just any games. That'd be
This
cool.
from Zbet. Question for Josie: have you gotten the Mario Oreos yet?
No, I don't. I live in a very small town. I don't even think we have those.
Order them online.
There
That's
you go.
crazy. It's a lot of commitment for Oreos.
Do they order like your food by like horseback and stuff, Joe?
Yeah, basically they come and they drop it off. Yeah.
Pony Express. Is
Yeah,
that
pretty
what's
much.
Okay.
Let's talk about Exoprimal. Game is out now. Went into Game Pass immediately. That's where I picked it up to play it.
Yeah.
I know Max, you played it on Xbox, PS5, Xbox.
I put it on Xbox. I put 12 hours into it. Man, I never want to touch that game again.
Okay, so you played it. I don't know if Evan, you didn't. You played the.
I played the beta, but that was as far as I wanted
okay.
to go with that.
That's the same game.
Okay, Sean played it. I don't know if Josie played it. No, shaking her head. No. Okay, no. All right. And then I know OJ, you were talking about. I don't know if you got a chance to play it or just kind of looked at it.
I have a copy on PS5.
Okay. All right. So Exoprimal is out now, and what do we think about it? Max, you put out a review. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I don't think the game is bad. It's weird the amount of polish it has. I think the game looks good. I think the animations are good. My problem is that the story is so bizarre of this like time loop, alternate dimension, mech suit, dino, Jurassic Park bullshit. And I think there's just no depth. It's really weird playing the game because you have your couple suits, there's the couple dinosaurs. Every 10 matches you play, you get a couple more dinosaurs. But like even when you really start to unlock everything, the game just feels so paper thin. I don't know. It feels like a tutorial. I feel like you never get to the actual game is my problem with it.
Okay. I was looking into the customization options and stuff, and I think the part that was really sticking out to me is the lack of weapon customization, personally, because you get like these chips that you put into your suits, and you got to level each suit up individually, and then you also have your player level, and it does feel like they really wanted to make that live service game that would keep you hooked for an extended period of time. But when we played a few matches, me and Sean, Nate and MVG, we played a few of them, and it was fun. But I will admit, it did start to get to the point where it's like, okay, we've done this before. What'd you think of it, Sean?
I think it's pretty fun. I mean, I've been unlocking some more stuff within the game as I play it. And I mean, you know, it's kind of mindless for sure, but I think it looks good. You know, as a Game Pass game, I think it's pretty solid. As a $60 purchase, unless you're just a big fan of Overwatch and you like dinosaurs, because there's some Overwatch elements to it, you know, it's probably not worth the full price.
The protect the payload shit.
Yeah, they make you push the cube. That's kind of my thought too. I don't know if I would recommend this as someone just go out and just buy it outright as like a $60 game. But if you have Game Pass and it just pops up, you're like, let me try this thing out. Let's say, I think it's worth the download and at least checking it out to see what you think about it. But you definitely want to have some people to play with, because I could see it getting kind of old if you weren't like just kind of kicking back and forth with people and having some fun. Even just kind of just going back and forth talking about whatever on there, because it is kind of the same concept. You teleport in, you have dinosaurs, which, by the way, seeing that all those dinosaurs drop in was pretty cool at first, but then you see it so many times you're basically just already shooting at the portal before they even fall out, because you're just like, all right, we're just gonna take them all out real quick. But when they occasionally throw that new dinosaur at you, that's a cool part. But then you see it over and over again. I'm waiting for the cybernetic, crazy T-Rex thing that drops down with cannons on its side of his shoulders.
Well, there's some different stuff.
Yeah, I want Capcom to get weird with this game. That's what I want. So
I mean, the weirdest part about this, though, is definitely like what we've all kind of alluded to, which is the fact that most of the time there's a couple maps, not really though. You kind of go through the same, you're all in this tiny island. So sometimes you'll be at the airport, or sometimes you'll be like more in a industrial district. But it seems like 80% of the time you're going through this one main road through this one city. And it just feels boring to go to the same city with the same kill the dinosaurs, like dinosaur cull. And it drops a couple dinosaurs, you kill them, and you move to the 10 feet away, kill the dinosaurs. And it just keeps doing it. And you do that over and over and over again. You're like, man, where is any variety? Take me in a different part of this city. Let me do something different. It takes you on the exact same path every time. It kills me.
What'd you think, OJ? You get a chance to play some of it?
Not too much. I don't think the game is very good. I think the game, it's a live service bullshit that they're just trying to rope you in to keep playing. Not a fan of these type of games at all. Just make Dino Crisis. Just make it. Just make that. Why this? I don't get it. I'll never be a fan of these type of live service games done this type of way. So not a fan. I think they should have made Dino Crisis.
The story. Okay. Did y'all play enough to actually get to any of the unlocked story bits?
Yeah.
Well, every so many matches, right? They unlock a cutscene for you, and then you get another cutscene, and then another one, and then that's basically what I see right now is the progression.
And then the audio logs. You got to go to the database, is what it's called, and there's all these tons of audio logs.
I gotta be honest. I'm not interested in the story at all. Like, you're trying to show me stuff, and I'm just like, I don't.
Oh yeah,
this isn't pulling me in at all personally.
The whole game is a mystery of where is Leviathan? Why is Leviathan the big like god entity AI that has you trapped in this time loop? Why is he doing it? And the other weird mystery of it is, in all the dimensions, all of your teammates exist in every dimension except for your one tech guy with only one arm. For some reason, that's the only version of him. So you're also trying to figure out why he exists but doesn't exist in the rest of the multiverse. And you'd think that's cool, but the story just goes nowhere, and it just keeps taking itself so seriously that you're like, man, it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred like maybe a more silly spin on the whole thing as opposed to trying to be serious then, because they're literally dropping hundreds of dinosaurs out of the sky. You feel like they would just like make a joke out of it or something.
Yeah.
But I guess they wanted to try to keep it somewhat grounded in reality while all that's happening. I don't know.
It's so serious. Nobody ever makes any jokes ever, and I wish that the characters, I wish it was like Borderlands or like Rage 2 or something. Like, I wish it was more colorful and like, hell yeah, we're in a time loop where we can't die, but we can fight dinosaurs. But instead, they're like, ugh.
Well, I wanted to do like Earth Defense Force, you know?
Yes. I showed it to my roommate who's obsessed with Earth Defense Force, and that's what he said. I wish that they were like chanting EDF while fighting the dinosaurs and stuff.
It is strange because the game is polished. It runs well. The shooting feels fine. Third person shooter, it's good there. You can actually get out of the suits and run around as just like the human. There's more to it in that aspect than you'd think for a game that outside of that with the live service elements feels shallow, as you mentioned. So apparently they're going to have just more stuff go into it, content drops. Like I think was it you, Sean? Someone said that there's like 10 suits going in a week or something.
Yeah, they're gonna string it out as far as content is concerned.
So in like 2 weeks, we're gonna have 20 suits instead of 10. So it's gonna drop a bunch in there randomly. I don't know how they split that up between DPS support and tank, but it seems weird that it's like, oh yeah, in 2 weeks we'll be able to double this number. It's like, well, what?
They
Why
should
did the
have.
retail release just have that?
Yes, they should have done that at launch because that was a lot of my video. I put out a 12-minute video kind of complaining about the game, and a lot of it just came down to the fact that where's the rest of it? Where's the depth? Like even the thing you were talking about, the microchip upgrades, you get these little tiny, you run 30% faster when you're weak, and you can level up that chip. I don't know. The whole game feels so bare bones.
One of them for the tank was your shield is stronger now, and it's like, why? I could have used that a little while ago, but all right. And then you got to pay money, like the in-game currency, to level it up further, and it's like
They do with these live service games, man. Like it's just, I'm not a fan of the style. It's just it can play good, of course, because it's a third-person shooter. It can play just fine. It can run fine. It's fine. It's running on powerful hardware. It's not like the most graphically intense game, but the problem is just they don't feel like full games. It's like they want to string you along for as long as possible, and I'm just. My patience for these type of games is almost pretty much evaporated.
I think if the PvP felt better, I think I'd be much more interested in it, because there is a point at the end where it decides PvE or PvP, and when you fight other players, it's kind of a cluster the whole time. It's just a mess. So I don't know. That's something that maybe over time will get worked out, whether it's people figuring out strategies or them just balancing the game. Just so many weird abilities are popping all over the place, and it feels like Sean thought we won at one point, and he rage quit the game.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
He rage quit. Like that's how bad it was. He gave up. It said 100% or whatever. We didn't win, and we were sitting there. I'm like, where'd Sean go? And it's like RGT is signed out. It's just gone.
Yeah,
cut out midstream.
If you put the cube at the end, it still has to charge up the cube to win.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you rage quit.
He was like, and it just cut
we
out.
had lost. We had been losing all night. We lost all damn night.
We did. We lost every match that night.
I won a lot. I had a couple times though. I think the biggest insult you could say about Exoprimal is it's a game that doesn't feel good to win and it doesn't feel good to lose.
It doesn't feel like anything happened either way.
Yeah, you absolutely crush the enemy team. Okay, well you're still to sight the same dinos in the same suit in 30 seconds. So who cares?
Well, it's a Game Pass game. It's available there. People could download it, try it out. I think that's the route to go, at least for now. Maybe in a year it'll turn out to be really good. Who knows? But that's Exoprimal. The RE engine, though, continues to hold up in terms of technical level. That's a pretty good game for that. So there you go. I did want to stop for a minute and give Evan a second to tell you got like 3 minutes. Tell me about this Mega Man game.
Oh, well, I suggested it too because he's complaining there's no Mega Man games, but it's Gravity Circuit. People have been talking about it. It's really fun.
Gravity Circuit. You played it?
Yeah, I've beaten a bunch of the circuits as they're called. I guess they're like the virus stuff. But yeah, it's themed really well. The moves are really interesting. It dropped not that long ago, and it plays a lot like kind of an old school Mega Man, probably a little closer to a Zero game because it's melee based, which is just fun.
Gravity Circuit. I'm looking at it now. It popped up on a bunch of different platforms. Here it is on the Switch eShop. July 13th it came out, so 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It's $20. It does indeed look like a it's like
as Wood said,
16-bit.
Mega Man with punching.
It's like a 16-bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you assign the special moves you unlock, and you kind of enhance your character down certain skill trees and paths based on.
Wood says, "Oh, I see." Wood says Bob loves that game. Okay, Mega Man with punching. I'm looking at it now. Gravity Circuit.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Maybe I'll give it a shot. How about that? I'll give it a try. I gotta figure out which platform to get it on. It is the Steam Deck over there. I'm gonna play it on there. I don't know. I think it's on everything, isn't it?
Maybe. I don't know. I just saw a bunch of people.
Do you fight robot masters at the end? Do you get their powers?
Sort of. When you beat them, you unlock, I think, 2 skills you can add to your activatable skills. So when you're fighting things, you actually build up energy, kind of like a fighting game, and then you unleash the larger skills. Based on the characters you beat, there's usually 2 different skills you unlock per person.
Oh, okay.
Hoggers.
Shout out to Wood coming by. Shout out. I will check that out. Gravity Circuit. I will report back. I'll see how it is. Okay. Do we have any Discord questions left, Evan?
We have so many Discord questions.
Okay, we can go through them now.
Can you recommend a laptop for recording gameplay? Only needs to be able to run 1080-60, looking for a decent price with dedicated graphics card. My personal suggestion is if all you're doing is recording, don't get a laptop. Get an ATM Mini Pro. It's an HDMI pass-through box. You plug a...
If that's all you're going to do.
Yeah, you plug a hard drive into it. You literally press a button and it just records. And
there's also that AverMedia. What's that, Sean? You just got the HD2 or whatever, AV2 Plus. I would get that though. It's a pass through. You put the SD card into it, and you hit a button to record, and you don't have to worry about the computer crashing or some weird thing
100%
happening.
agree. I got one of those just to record what I'm playing, and it's super simple. You just put a micro SD card in there. You can take it. It's really easy to. Yeah, that's the one that I chose.
Those are great for SD. The one I'm using is literally you get a solid state drive, USB-C into the back, and you can swap it out if you want.
What's that one called?
It's the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. It's the one I do for the tabletop recordings because it can record up to 4 cameras at the same exact time and put them into RAW files.
It's on Amazon. Where is it at?
Amazon, yeah. The ISO is
from
for
Blackmagic?
Yes. The ISO is for 4 sources, and the Mini Pro is for single source recording, but you can still plug all of it in and actually control, sort of like how you stream, the panels on what people can see.
Oh, it's the stream. It's a stream switcher.
You can use it as a stream switcher. You can actually put all your stream info into it, and then not have a computer and just plug everything in. Press go live.
This can just record the pass through.
Yes. You just press a button, have a hard drive plugged into it. I think USB 2, USB 3 for the Pro, and then USB-C for the ISO.
I'm seeing it right here. It's about $300.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, compared to buying a whole PC.
Which one is it? Is it the
AverMedia is 140.
Blackmagic Design ATEM Mini Pro HDMI Live Stream Switcher?
Yeah, that would be the basic one for single recording, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Or is that the AverMedia one like Sean mentioned? So yeah, I mean, in that case, if you're just looking to record stuff, I would go with one of those standalone recorders.
Yeah, they're usually just better.
Okay.
Has any member of the cast made it through Jordan's 12-hour survival video yet?
I have not. That is quite the experience. Okay, OJ has. All right, that's quite the experience.
Me and my wife.
I did jump ahead though to see if Jordan was like, he's sounding tired, getting fatigued, went to like hour 8.
There's definitely parts, if you listen out, where I was becoming sick from working on it, so my voice sounds a lot more nasally, goes in and out. So like with recording, usually about double the length of it is audio because of other takes or just spaces in between. And in general, I had like about 27 hours of recorded dialogue that got cut down to that, so there was a lot of talking.
Wild, man, crazy.
I guess we'll get into these a couple edgelord questions. What is the most disappointing game this year, and why is it Metroid Prime Remastered?
Jeez, what?
Metroid Prime Remastered. That's the most disappointing one.
Everybody's 1-2 Switch. I was kind of hyped, and then I played and it was really bad, and like. I made a video on it. Me and all my friends, we didn't even know what to think. It was so bad. Like,
did it ruin your day?
Yes, it ruined everything. It ruined our whole night. We were like having a good time, and I was like, who wants to play everybody's 1-2 Switch? And it just killed the entire vibe. So
you were kind of hyped for that, actually.
Play the game. Nobody wants to play that with me.
Well, maybe you should be in college.
I'll try to get through this one.
Oh, no, okay, no.
I was 20 years ago, Joseph. I already graduated. I'm not going back.
It's a bit of a long one.
I paid off all my college loans. There's no way in hell I'm going back.
Going back to a sore subject, I'm noticing some of the frame rate stuttering that was so much of a problem with Pokemon Scarlet Violet and Shin Megami Tensei 5, but with SMT5, it's only showing up when certain DLC that causes certain enemies to spawn way more frequently than they otherwise would. How much of the performance issues we've seen with Pokemon are due to poor optimization, and would saving Gen 9 for the next generation Nintendo console have solved these performance issues?
I feel like Game Freak would have figured out how to mess that system up too.
What
they were trying to do.
It's a Game Freak thing, not a system thing.
They just need more time on these games. That's the problem, man. They're already working on the next one, and they're like, oh, I got 2 years to get this thing out the door.
SMT5 didn't get the heat that Pokemon got because they're not as big as them, and also like the game looks drastically better from a graphical perspective.
Oh yeah, definitely that.
Like SMT5 just looks way better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just much more, impressive looking game. So that's the reason why. But yeah, it does have some similar types of performance issues. But once again, but the graphics are just so much better. So
hey, that's Switch 2 that's the patch.
It's gonna solve nothing.
It's the Switch 2.
Game Freak just needs to accept help, and they need to reach out to
That won't happen.
internal companies in Nintendo who know what they're doing. Yes, it's so bad. They're so bad.
Yeah, but they're
at
making
developing.
millions, so
They
who
need
cares?
more time.
I mean, they don't need to because they're not going to, but they should.
They need more time. Like they need more time to actually create a game. That's what they need. They need more time to create their games. They can't make a massive open world game with 1 million Pokemon in 2 years. It's like, no, that's going to be the result. So they need SMT5 took 5-6 years to make and still had that, you know? Like, so it still had some of those issues and they did the best they could. So they definitely need more time.
I feel like it was easier for Game Freak when games didn't take as long to make and there weren't expectations of HD visuals and all of this. Now it's getting difficult. So they got to work something out there. I don't know. What else you got, Evan?
Obsidian 20th anniversary documentary made me realize Don Matrick almost shuttered multiple third-party studios by contracting exclusives only to mismanage them severely, ultimately leading to their cancellations. Can I get your thoughts on this matter and how it relates to gaming history?
I mean, it set Xbox back a bit there, didn't it? Like they had to show up recently and just start buying studios because they didn't really have a lot of first-party studios at all. So that was kind of the issue. A lot of mercenaries made their games back then. But now they have an incredible amount of studios, and after this deal, I guess, closes this week coming up, they will have by far the most studios available to them for any platform holder. So you'd expect their output to be very good at that point. But yeah, Don Matrick was too early in some cases with their Xbox One and too late when it came to forming those first-party studios.
Which of the many VR devices that are currently on the market right now does all of the cast think might be the most accessible to someone with a limited range of vision? This is a person with a left eye prosthetic.
That's tough. I mean, they're all going to be very similar in that sense because they're all right up against your eyes. But I would say whichever one has the clearest lenses, and that might be the new Quest 3 coming up.
Yeah. Well, also, I'd say maybe if you're having visual problems, maybe try it before you buy it. There are places that have demo booths. You can like schedule an appointment to try out a VR headset. Or I would say get a cheap Oculus, or just to at least experiment with the ecosystem before you jump in, like $1,000.
All right, troll question. What is your favorite part of the Pythagorean theorem?
All of it's great.
The name of it.
A part in the middle.
And then a couple
That
shout
thickness.
outs. That thickness. When the entire classic lineup of Spawncast returns, please celebrate with coffee, milk, and hot weenas. And then, yeah, just some more shout outs, I guess, in bulk. Not really
Coffee
questions.
McMilk. I know how to say that. I've been learning German. I feel weird that I can read that whole last donation in German, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, go ahead.
It should be good.
Vade says, love the podcast, guys. You've gotten me through many 10-hour plus car drives. Wind Waker or Twilight Princess? Ooh.
Twilight
Wind
Princess.
Waker.
Twilight
Ooh.
Princess.
Wind Waker.
That is a tough one. I kind of want to go Wind Waker. Twilight Princess
Phantom
is pretty good.
Hourglass.
Oh man, that's tough. I might go with Wind Waker just because it's so unique looking. H says, thoughts on bringing Legacy COD servers back to only Xbox for now? Is that an exclusive? Probably. I don't know. They'll probably remake these games again. Watch. Then they'll put servers on for that. Sean, are you doing an after show tonight?
Yeah, I'll do it for a little bit.
Okay. Zbat says there's an idea for the Spawncast network. Dreamcast guy reads mean tweets. Been loving the content, especially Game and Talk with Nate, RGT, and Josie.
I've done it. I will do that. That's not. If y'all
Is that
want
a show?
that, yeah. I could do. I say some occasionally. I say some where occasionally I'll say some because I want to do something with it. Like some guy said, if you don't like Starfield, I'm gonna hunt. Or no, if Starfield sucks, I'm going to hunt you down personally. And I saved that one on my computer because I was like, I want to do something with this. And his picture was Starfield. And I was like, I want this guy's having a bad day.
You could read mean tweets and respond to them in the nicest way possible.
You don't even need to
yeah.
respond to them. Just read and then look at the camera for a
Oh,
second.
yeah. Well, especially the really specific ones, like I want to drown you in milk. Like, what does that mean? Like some of those where I'm just like, bro, do you have a lot of milk? Do you have like tubs of milk and you have some fantasy you're trying to fulfill via me? I don't know. I would totally do reading mean tweets.
Jackson says worst game on every console you have owned. The worst game on every console.
Virtual Hide Sega Saturn.
Ooh.
Mine's actually for the
Wow.
Switch.
Oh yeah? What is it? What is it?
Never
It's
mind.
like an inside joke between me and Jordan at this point.
Never mind.
I'll say
Off
the
the
game for
chain.
Jordan. I agree with them. Astral Chain, worst game. Worst game ever.
There you go.
Mhm. Once you get off the motorcycle, it's just all downhill from there.
There you go.
Callan Shaw says, anyone finished Final Fantasy 16 yet? Has your opinion of the game changed after finishing it? I am at the end of the game. I'm going to finish it, but my opinion's gotten better as I've gone through it.
I want to
Same.
buy it.
I like it a lot. I understand people's complaints because the story gets very classic Final Fantasy towards the end, and I think some new fans are a little bit sad that it gets real like big and heady. It gets a little Kingdom Heartsy towards the end.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's happened. I'm like, okay. That was very much Dragon Ball Z, but all right.
Yeah.
Dragon says, Square addressed the Final Fantasy 16 PS5 overheat problem yet. I don't think there was much of a problem other than people cleaning their PS5.
Those people's dusty ass PS5s. That had nothing. There was no real actual problem like with Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, myself included. I cleaned out my PS5 because my copy of FF16 was screaming in that console. So I opened it up and blew it out. I put a picture of my dirty ass PS5 on Twitter today because it was dirty.
Gotta clean it up.
Banana says DCG is kind of right. I've bought games I care not for because MVG worked on them and I was curious. Power Slave, for example.
Ooh, good call.
Ryland says, quick revival game, Sonic Rush Adventure to all platforms. FYI, my favorite DS game as a 7 or 8 year old. Do you all agree it's a great game? Sonic Rush Adventure.
Well, Sonic, so
I mean, that's Jordan's favorite, obviously. It's Sonic.
More like belongs in the trash.
Hey, there you go.
I didn't care for it too much. That's the one where you would go from the upper screen to the lower screen and back and forth, right? I thought it was just a little bit weird.
Capono says, now that gamers know that Sony lied about the PS5's SSD, will they still fall for the PS5 Pro marketing? Love the show, John. Hey, the PS5 Pro to 8K. I know we got to see how Ratchet & Clank runs on a hard drive. That might be a stuttering mess for all we know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Barang says, I miss when John says jackass sometimes. It was a good show today for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Then people started actually getting hurt in school, and we had to stop that.
Hey, but we had fun.
Yeah, it was easier when there was like a foot of snow on the ground. Then it was springtime, and everyone started breaking their bones. Austin
I've been hit by 2 cars.
Are any of y'all going to watch?
Only 2. I learned my lesson the second time.
I don't know, Barbenheimer? I don't know.
Yes.
Barbenheimer? Yes, this upcoming week.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Me and my girlfriend, we are making tie-dye outfits, so we're gonna watch both. We're gonna have the whole thing that people are doing is you watch Barbie and Oppenheimer the same day. So we're doing Barbie first because we think that Oppenheimer, the reviews are that it's a real mood killer. So we're gonna do Barbie. So we're dressed up in Barbie outfits as Barbie and Ken, and then we're gonna change it to our Oppenheimer.
Why would you want the mood killer second? You want to go with the serious, depressing thing first, and then you end the night by with you having a good time.
No, I'm team Barbie first. I mean, Barbie looks fun, and I'm ready for the darkness. If there's darkness, I feel like I can't have fun.
This is from John O saying, heading out to a more after show appropriate venue to meet some buddies. I'll be figuring out my Spawncast network membership when I get back home. Everyone else should do the same. Appreciate you all. Good night. Shout out to John O. John O, yeah, check out the Spawncast network. Got linked down below. Got a lot of fun shows going up there, especially this week coming up. Some good ones. Dragon says, has Square addressed the Final Fantasy 16 problem yet with the overheat problem? let me go around here as we finish up. I will also check out Streamlabs too to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm going to start with Max, Dreamcast guy. Where can everyone find you?
youtube.com/Dreamcast guy. I got some fun videos coming up this week, but specifically, August is so packed with reviews. I'm actually setting out my schedule. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe because I'm going to die in August trying to review as many games as possible. So it's going to be hectic and awesome.
Go over to Josie Woe.
You can find me at Josie Woe on YouTube. I have a video coming out about like Tears of the Kingdom, like my full opinion on it, and I'm excited for that. And I might stream. I don't know. Yeah, check it out. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Gang.
I'll do that.
Everybody, 1-2 switch.
Yeah.
Liam says, is the Mario Rabbids series dead if it underperformed Ubisoft's expectations, even though it sold over 3 million? Do you think they'll continue it with more realistic projections in the future?
Where did he get those numbers? Where did he get those numbers from?
Sounds like they're going to probably put it on the next system too through a patch or release. The Mario Rabbids. Didn't we get? I thought we had numbers for it, didn't we?
What he said it sold over. He said 3 million.
He said it sold over 3 million. That's what he said.
Yeah, where did he get that number from? Ubisoft. I don't think Ubisoft ever confirmed that number. They said players for the first Mario plus Rabbids, and they never gave us any numbers for Mario plus Rabbids.
They just said it didn't meet expectations, right?
Yeah, they just said didn't meet. So I don't know where he got those numbers.
Fanciful thinking.
I don't know. I have to check to see if we ever got any numbers on it.
We got numbers for the first one, but they just said
was over
players.
10 million.
Yeah, they said players total, so it was kind of an idea, but they never gave any solid, like, exact numbers for either of the games. Like, from what I understand, maybe in the reports, but the second game definitely not.
And this one's from Thomas says, I agree with OJ. Game Freak needs more time to develop their games. It took Nintendo a long time to get used to HD development. Scarlet and Violet apparently had hundreds of people working on it, as shown in the staff credits. JJ says, since Nintendo took time to get used to develop HD games, how long do you think they'll need to develop games into 4K?
I don't think they're going to do 4K games, so.
I mean, their games now can technically scale to 4K.
Yeah, but they're not going to be like, we're going to make a game for 4K. It's going to be all built native. They're not going to do that with the next system. No.
And let's go to Jordan Fringe.
Yeah, you can find me at Jordan Fringe on YouTube. I finally put out this past week my 12-hour magnum opus on Survivor, the whole show, all 44 seasons. I locked myself in my house for about a month, made this video, and check that out. Trying to get back to regular content. I have a Japan trip here in the next 2 weeks, so things are a little bit hectic. So thanks for all the support while I was gone from content making this giant Survivor video. So glad to be here.
And let's go to OJ, Player Essence.
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Got some cool videos coming up. Finally, new by now series that's coming up. So pretty cool games if you're interested in like games that could be rare in the future. Check it out. And I also did recently some upcoming, like 20 plus upcoming Nintendo Switch games, RPGs to get excited for. Looking forward to in the second half of the year. So if you like content like that, check it out. And I stream daily as well, pretty much daily. Pretty much stream every single day. So yeah, check out the live streams as well. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Okay, and then see, Issue Boy says, just want to thank John for putting together the group of heathens that have helped a lot of us through some hard times. Mr. McMahon never gets credit. Thanks, Issue. Appreciate that. Paper says, do you think controllers should be cross-gen? For example, Xbox One controllers work on Series X and S. Would Joy-Cons work on a Switch 2 new console? I hope not. It's time to leave those Joy-Cons behind.
It'd be cool if they carried over the Pro controller because it's such a good controller.
I want everything to work, whether it's trash or not. I want everything.
Yeah. I feel like I'm starting to miss the PlayStation 4 controller a little bit. I wish that worked on PS5 games.
Yeah.
Boot says, anybody hoop. I found it to be one of the best calorie burn exercises. If you push it, just hoop for 2 hours. Burn 1,500 calories. Ready to game now.
We'll play
I do
basketball.
that at the gym.
Oh, there you go. Josie plays.
Yes, playing basketball is by far like the best workout. The lowest I've ever been was when I was like 160 pounds, like right after I graduated college, just from playing basketball like every day for like 3 hours a day.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I was looking like a skeleton, so I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And let's go over to Evan.
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Chimerics Project. If you're into tabletop games, you can kind of go there, check that out. Otherwise, just Twitter or wherever at Chimerics Project. I try to keep that thing going all over the place.
Okay. And then Sean, you're over on your after show.
Yep, we're already live. Come over.
Okay. Come on over and see him there. Thanks everyone
Stealing content.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.